1 and 2. What's up, everybody? Sorry for a little slightly late start. That's me.
Yep.
That is me. Andrew, what's happening? Yes, very nice outside indeed. Kirk, what's good? David Jackson.
Appreciate you. EZ, I guess. I'm not sure, man. E8Z. E8Z? E8Z? I don't know. But thank you.
Easy.
I say easy, but I mean, do an 8 in there.
Lazy. I know that. Lazy, what's happening, bro?
Oh, we talked about Genuine and Ashanti at the State Fair. You see who else at the State Fair?
Young Zell.
Ooh.
Young Zell.
Yeah. We got them screaming D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo. We got them screaming D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, D-Lo. We your number one spot. We your number one spot for some sports, huh? Got the city going crazy when we work, huh? We top 2, but we ain't 2, we in first, huh? And when you need the real, we is who you search, huh? D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo. We your number one spot.
July 30th. That man Young Zell going to be performing at the California State Fair.
Let's get it.
What's good, baby? Our man Young Zell. You know we're going to be out there.
Absolutely.
Well, what day is July 30th?
I don't know.
Okay.
What day of the week?
Well, it's at 3 o'clock. That's what I mean. July 30th.
Yeah. Are we gonna?
Oh, it's Sunday. We're gonna be there.
Oh yeah, we'll be there. I'm about to say. I mean, we might be live from the State Fair.
We might be,
but no, we ain't got to worry about that. We'll be there on a Sunday.
We'll be.
I was upset when they moved the State Fair dates a few years ago. State Fair is supposed to end on Labor Day. I don't know what this whole July business is all about.
I didn't notice.
What you mean you didn't notice? Well, I mean, you wouldn't notice. You wasn't outside like that. It was only me and Mike, and we was the only ones outside like that.
I just don't go to the fair.
Even when you were younger, you didn't go to the fair?
No, I don't like it. Like, I don't like the fair. I don't like amusement parks. That's not. I don't
either.
Thing.
But the fair used to be pretty lit.
Like, nah. Like, I never liked it. It was never, because I don't eat that food. Like, there's literally nothing there for me except Ashanti and Young Zell. And who's the other one? And Genuine.
Yeah, watch out.
Just be careful.
Be careful.
Warn the sign guy.
Black Family Night at the State Fair. Come on, that's legendary.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I was there every year. I was up in that joint.
No doubt. And they all ended the same way.
I was running to the car.
Yeah. Every single night ended the same way. At some point, I just kind of got to that day. It was like, I know the ending.
No, I went to one. I think it was the last one they had, because then they stopped calling it that. It was ridiculous. I said, all right, man.
It was
this
so
is
bad.
We can't do this.
It was so bad.
Even I was like, bro, you can't.
It's like, this is why we only got one day. This right here. This is why we only got one day.
I think at that point I was like 20.
Fair,
maybe I was 20.
Fair 18 days long. They gave us one, and this is why. Took it away.
But Young Zell bringing it back.
Indeed. Yeah, we'll be there to support Young Zell for sure. We welcome you in here to the Tuesday, May 9th edition of D-Lo and KC. I'm Damian Barling.
Acknowledge me.
He is Kenny Caraway.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge me.
We're so happy that you're here with us on the Odyssey app on 1320 AM on 98.5 FM HD2. We're so happy that you're watching on twitch.tv/ESPN 1320 or youtube.com/ESPN 1320. We hope you hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button as well. Shout out to the crew over on Facebook and who are scrolling their timelines and just stumbled across us on Twitter.
Big ups.
We everywhere, baby.
They ain't never there.
Jesse ain't talked to us in 2 days.
Jesse is like locked in right now, though.
Is it because of the game?
I think so.
Is it because of the series? Is that why you're not talking?
Well,
to
no,
us?
I got here a little late, so I had to work on my sports update and stuff like that. I was working.
Okay.
He was late because he had to watch some more game film.
Probably.
Are
you nervous about this series?
No, honestly, no.
He thinks it's over in 6.
I don't get nervous.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
I think it's over in 6. But yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You don't know
I
what.
think if you have to ask me, I do think it's over in 6. I think Boston wins tonight and they win in Philly. But
If they weren't in Boston, it'd be a different story. I'd probably be nervous, but
Okay.
yeah, I think they got it today.
Lakers Warriors over in
hopefully
5.
Hopefully.
Wild game last night between the Lakers and the Warriors. It was all over the place. Lakers won that one, obviously 104, 101. Actually, let me do a better job as a radio show host. I'm supposed to give you the rundown today. That's what they teach you in radio school, is you tell everybody what's ahead. Well, God damn it, it's us. Like, that's what's ahead. Trista couldn't do the show today. She hit us up late last night. She's like, hey, got a little something. Gonna have to miss you guys this week. No doubt.
She's
got
everywhere.
you. Jason Jones will be with us in the final hour of the show. I'm sure he's excited to talk basketball with us. So that's what's coming up today. Jason Jones, we will talk Kings basketball. We always going to talk.
He's happy today.
Kings basketball.
Happy Jason Jones today.
I know it doesn't happen very often. At least I think he'll be happy. I don't know that I know what happy Jason Jones looks like.
I don't know what mad Jason Jones looks like. He's never really mad either.
Yeah, he's just kind of always the same.
Yeah. Motto of consistency.
The Lakers took a 3-1 lead on the Warriors last night. And as I said, that game was kind of all over the place. Like, the momentum just, it's like Warriors are up 7, man. They're about to open this thing up. 10-0 run from the Lakers. Lakers are up 3. Now the Lakers, they're about to, 6-0 run from and it just kept going back and forth until a horrible stretch of execution by the Golden State Warriors, particularly Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green kind of shut that down, in addition to the emergence of the new Laker legend, the new Mamba. Lonnie Walker had himself. I thought, man, Lonnie Walker had a nice game. It's actually capped. Lonnie Walker had a fourth quarter.
Yeah.
15 in the fourth quarter for Lonnie Walker, the most points in the fourth quarter by a Los Angeles Laker in a playoff game since, obviously, people have seen it all morning, Kobe Bean.
Shout out to Darvin Ham for finally playing him. I don't know what took him so long. Actually, I think he played game 3.
He played a little bit. Yeah,
he played a little bit
this series.
Like he hadn't played all playoffs.
No, yeah, he hasn't.
And
that's been one of the more confusing things to me, because I don't think he played a ton during the regular season either after the trade.
In all respect to him, but they kept playing, what's my man's name, Troy Brown or something like that. Why is this guy getting in the game? Why is he playing over Lonnie Walker? But better late than never. Lonnie Walker, fantastic performance last night in that fourth quarter. I mean, I know a lot of people in Warriors land were like, yo, Lonnie Walker, like, how we losing Lonnie Walker? I understand that sentiment, but he's good and he's a bucket. Yeah. Like, if there's anything Lonnie Walker can do in this world, that's get buckets to the day he dies. I think he said last night on the post-game show, he said, candle stay lit. You know what I'm saying? He said the candle stay lit, and he was ready to go. That's a testament to him mentally and emotionally being ready for any moment and not being afraid, man. So I just like his game in general. But when you're aware of the whole Lonnie Walker story, I got so much respect for him, and I want to always see him do well, man. So
you want to elaborate?
Yeah, well, I don't know if people remember when Lonnie came into the league, he had like a really high top haircut with dreads, and that was kind of his signature or whatever. And I think a year or two into his NBA career, he cut his dreads, and he said he had wrote a story about it or something like that, and talked about his hair was the word they use as a cloaking device for the fact that he had been sexually abused and raped as a kid. And, he kind of used that to kind of mask the pain that he was going through and things of that nature. And when he cut his hair, he could have just cut his hair. He could have just cut his head and nobody would have thought anything of it. But he made it a point to tell you why and hope that maybe his story inspired others who were going through the same thing. And, I already just liked him in general, just as a ball player, but, seeing him, do something like that as a man, I've always been a fan of Lonnie Walker since then.
And those are subjects men don't talk about. And those are subjects Black men really don't talk about.
Absolutely, man. And for him to step onto the ledge like that and bring that type of awareness to things that go on like that, and use himself as a example and an inspiration for others. Like I said, always been a fan since then. But you combine that with, him not playing and getting an opportunity on one of the biggest stages to perform and coming through. I was just really happy to see that from Lonnie Walker.
No doubt. 15 huge points for Lonnie Walker in the fourth quarter last night to go along with big-time performances from LeBron James. Kind of a weird day for Anthony Davis, though he was extremely impactful at the end of the game. And your guy, Austin Reeves.
Yeah, well, Austin Reeves. There ain't nobody in the chat asking me, oh, you think Austin Reeves better than Clay today? Ain't nobody asking me. They was asking me that after game 2. I don't see nobody asking me that today. Now, Clay's more accomplished. Don't get it wrong. But right now, I think.
You really think Austin Reeves is better than Klay Thompson?
Today, in this series,
wait a minute.
I think it's equal. That's what I was always talking about. We was ranking for the series, not for the career, obviously, but for this series, we're doing the power rankings. I think it's a discussion.
Man, that's still tough for me. Like, I'm aware of what we saw last night. That's still tough for me. But Klay last night. See, that's the downfall of Klay sometimes, that doesn't, and really Steph too. Because Steph, both of them had there's 2. It could have been more. Klay had 2 awful shots.
Those are the worst shots.
But Steph had a couple, the ones where AD was guarding him. I'd argue maybe the first shot he took wasn't terrible. The second one was awful.
They were both awful.
They
were both awful, and especially when you combine the fact that they had just used the pick and roll. He had split the pick and roll, got to the bucket, got an easy layup. That was there for him, it seemed, all day. But much like 2016, Game 7 with Kevin Love on you. And I love Steph. Steph Curry was unbelievable last night. He was unbelievable. He was phenomenal last night. But like you started to mention, they get in these modes where, they want to do, they want the big 3. They want the big moment and all this other stuff. And instead of going by AD like he did on the previous play, he had to dance with him. And everybody knew he was shooting a jump shot. AD knew it. He wasn't biting on anything going to the bucket because he knew Steph was thirsty, wanted the jump shot. And the first one, I mean, the only reason why we say I feel, the only reason why you feel like it wasn't that bad is because it went in and out. It was a horrible shot. It was a fall away, 1 foot fade away from 20 feet away. Like, it's a terrible shot. And then he gets the rebound, or Draymond gets the rebound, kicks it out, and then a 28 foot fall away from Anthony Davis.
That was bad.
It's just bad shots, though.
Anthony Davis, that was definitely Anthony Davis's shining moment in the second half. He had a huge first half. I think 19 in the first half, 4 in the second half. But his defense, which prompted LeBron James to call him the best defender in the NBA after the game when talking to Chris Haynes, was a big moment in that game, as was LeBron James, who sniffed out what the Warriors were doing, essentially not physically, but pushed Anthony Davis to the baseline to jump a pass that Draymond hadn't even gone into the motion of the pass yet, but LeBron knew the play. He knew where Draymond was going. There was only one place he was going to throw the ball. He pushes Anthony Davis over there. Draymond circles the key, throws that ball directly into Anthony Davis's hands. A huge turnover from Draymond Green there. The Warriors now, they're 1-14 when down 3-1. Pretty famous one there in the 1-14. LeBron James, 17-0 when up 3-1. So those are the circumstances everybody faces. We're going to talk a lot more about this game.
There's a lot going on.
A ton.
There's a lot going on with this series.
There is a ton going on with this series, and most of it is with the Los Angeles Lakers, with the Golden State Warriors. But I do want to make sure we give the Los Angeles Lakers their credit, because this was a team that was under 500 near the end of the season. This is a play-in team that's on the verge of the Western Conference Finals. So we'll talk about that. We'll get to Kings basketball.
Speaking of Kings basketball, I don't know if you saw what I put in the rundown, a little late in the rundown, but
later in the show. I saw it.
I don't know if this is an epiphany. I don't know if that, but
I saw it.
We gotta
Get your steel chairs ready, folks.
No,
It's on the way. Kenny's latest heel turn coming up here. D-Lo and KC brought to you by Sky River Casino on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
Stephen Brown. It's not a terrible shot when they no, it's always a terrible shot. They just make the terrible shot.
Did you notice Stephen Brown changed his profile pic?
Yeah, he's trying to look bigger.
I think he's trying to show you that he's 6'5".
Bro, stop. Bro.
250.
I already know the camera tricks. I know the angle. Stop.
That's a big boy right there.
5'9", 145.
Hey, just know, Stephen Brown, I believe you. So when you show up at Sky River,
5'9", 145.
I'm just gonna walk around with Stephen Brown and John Poles behind me, and King Voss. If we could find King Voss, I'm gonna walk around with them.
Stephen Brown the same size as Terrence Crawford, man.
Stop it. Stop it.
Oh man, look at Leezy, man. Leezy in here with his little heat, bro. Man, come on, man. I can't believe this, bro.
What'd Leezy do?
He a Heat fan.
Oh, he a Heat fan. Oh,
I can't
yeah.
believe this, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, we absolutely. In fact, I'm gonna start at. We definitely gonna talk about what Julius Randle said. Keep it a G, D-Lo. When did you start taking being healthy more seriously? 18. I would say I started at 18. I got more serious at 21. Got really, really serious at like 28. Like really serious at 28. So there were like waves of it, but I would say 21 was the start. Then I started morning radio and things got a little rocky. And then kind of got corrected and then really started to grind at like 28. Try to maintain that now. Say, man, Stephen Brown's trying to fit the shoulders in the camera. You see that, man?
I ain't mad at you, Stephen Brown. I ain't mad at you, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Got to get the angles, man. Got to get the angles.
Man, man was talking to his team, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk. I'll start that one too, Collins, because that's a hell of a line to say with a with a game left, or at least a game left to be played, maybe more.
I saw this late. I didn't get a chance to put this in. Did you? I want to read more on it, I guess. But did you see this story about Matt Ariza, the Bills punter, the ex-Bills punter?
No.
So he was accused. Remember, he was accused of rape, and they released him. And it turned out he was never even at the house.
That's from when he was in college, right?
I think so. Yeah. That's tough because to be honest with you, I don't blame the Bills for doing what they did when they did it. But that's rough, man.
Like, how do you come back from that?
Yeah, that is.
I don't know how people be finding this stuff. Did you see the Austin Reeves thing that he posted back in 2012?
Oh no!
What it's not like most stuff you'd find from back in 2012. It's a meme of Kobe, and it says, "When I need some peace and quiet, I set my phone to LeBron mode. No ring."
Oh.
Austin Reeves posted that on Facebook back in 2012.
Oh no! Damn.
LeBron laughs now because he's got plenty of rings.
He does.
And may get another one.
Hey, real quick, because we got a lot of hoop to talk about today. A lot of hoop. Before we do that, can I give a shout out to our guys over at the Sacramento Republic. Big time game tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Round of 32 in the U.S. Open Cup, going up against the Colorado Rapids. About to slap them boys. Matter of fact, some would say about to smash them boys tonight
I wish
at
we wouldn't.
Heart Health Park, the Cal Expo, site of California State Fair.
There's a sign out front that says no smashing. Oh, wait, that's the sign outside the fair. Never mind.
Shout out to them boys. Also, I want to give a shout out and get well soon to my guy Roro, man. I don't know if you saw Roro had a pretty bad leg injury a couple of weeks ago. Seen him on Instagram, good spirits, had whatever procedure he needed done. But he'll be out for a little. I don't think it's season ending. I think he'll be out for a few months, man. So get well soon, Roro. I saw Roro out in front of Golden One Center before game 2. Me and Trista, as we were walking in, Roro was out there.
Oh, that's very nice.
What's up? We dapped up.
I was parking.
Love.
Yeah, no, it's very fine. I'm stuck in traffic. That's good. I'm glad you guys had that moment, though. It's nice. It's good.
So that's my guy, man. Get well soon. Republic, do what you do, man. Smash the Rapids tonight.
How you didn't get a picture with your boy?
That's just my guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't even,
okay.
It's not, I mean, we'll get a picture next time we see each other because that's my guy.
Okay.
Exchange numbers and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hit me up, bro. I got you, fam.
That's what's up, man. That's good stuff.
Get well soon, man.
Lakers are 1 win away from the conference finals. The Lakers certainly deserve their flowers, if you will. They were under 500 towards the end of the season. They were a play-in team. They were clearly a better basketball team post-trade deadline. And here they are in this moment with an opportunity to go to the conference finals. But the story is the Golden State Warriors. And I think the story is the Golden State Warriors for a variety of different reasons. One, I think Steve Kerr is a very good coach. But this constant manipulating of the starting lineup, and he's trying these different things out. And I heard he has a correspondent in the locker room because he was not pleased with Sham's report.
There's a rat.
There's a rat in that coaching staff. There's a rat in that locker room. But Steve Kerr was clearly not pleased that Shams Charania had the report that Gary Payton II was going to be starting in that game. We've seen Kevon Looney, who they originally explained as being sick, now just kind of playing 10 minutes off the bench, which, okay, I don't know, but it feels like to me there's a couple of things at play. One, Steve is searching for something because he knows this team isn't it. And two, this Jordan Poole thing is one of the more fascinating NBA stories of the season. And it obviously, we all know how it started. And it's hard for me as just a basketball fan to look at this from a neutral perspective and say, how are y'all not drawing the line here? I said this yesterday. It's incredible to me that some of you are willing to defend Draymond Green to the death. Man, curb stomps Domantas Sabonis, and you're willing to fight for him. You're going to go down on the Draymond ship. But you don't have Jordan Poole's back at all? And you can't find the correlation between when Jordan Poole plays well and when he doesn't? And you can't think, maybe there's an issue here, and it's not entirely lying with Jordan Poole. You got a coach, a very, very good coach, who is searching for something in this team. You got a core. Those shots that we just talked about, I know we focused on Steph because of AD guarding him. Those shots from Clay were, if Clay Thompson was named PJ Dozier, that dude wouldn't see the floor for months because of those shots.
Those were two of the worst shots.
Horrible.
That I've seen in a long time. The 30-footer with 5 seconds on the shot. I mean, what the hell was that?
The second one? Yeah.
That was with 15 seconds on
you
the
could
shot
see
clock.
Steve Kerr react.
You saw that?
You could see Steve Kerr react to that shot.
That was pretty funny.
And it like you look at this Warriors team, and it's not just like they're down 3-1. we know in the NBA, those aren't insurmountable leads. Like the Warriors can come back from this. The Warriors have come back from this. But, man, this team feels lost. And to a certain degree, and maybe this is taking, this is too much recency bias based on those shows. They feel desperate. Because they haven't been better than the Lakers to me in this series.
No, not at all.
At all. I mean,
regardless of what Chris Broussard tries to say.
Yeah, I purposely don't listen to Chris Broussard, so I get my Chris Broussard from you.
So, came up on my timeline. He said, after watching 3 games, it's clear to me that the Warriors are just the better team. I don't know what 3 games he was watching.
They were so like top heavy. And this team right now feels lost to me, completely lost.
Well, I mean, they're lost. And I mean, I think this is the end of their dynasty. It doesn't mean they're going to be a bad team. It doesn't mean they can't retool or regroup or something like that.
It's the end of this version of this basketball team.
It's over, and it probably got sped up a little bit with the Draymond Jordan Poole situation. I mean, Jordan Poole isn't playing well, and it's easy for everybody on the outside to say, like, you need to just play better. Or if the punch had something to do with anything, you got to get over it. It's time to win a championship. All this other stuff. It's easy to say that, but it's another thing when you're actually going through it. And I was listening to the Morning Rose. Shout out Bonte. Shout out Alan Stein, who was filling in for Butcher Boy. They had some great outlooks on it. And they're sitting up there. Bonte brought up the point where Draymond Green got suspended for calling Kevin Durant out of his name. But you suck. If I'm Jordan Poole, you allow him to sucker punch me and you don't suspend him. You don't do anything to him, but give, stern looks at a press conference or, look frustrated with everything that's going on. Have him, quote unquote, step away from the team for a couple of days. He called this man out of his name and you suspended him. He socked me in my face. And you want to, it's all good. And then Bonte compared that to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who were literally fighting for their lives. Season was on the line. And they said, Rudy Gobert, that's unacceptable. You can't play with us tonight. It didn't matter. You don't do that to a teammate. It doesn't matter when it happens. It doesn't matter who the teammate is. You don't do that to a teammate. And they suspended that man with the season on the line. And this guy, once again, sucker punches Jordan Poole. Everybody just keeps it moving. And you want Jordan Poole now.
They tried to normalize it.
Try to normalize it.
Oh, fights happen all of the time in practice.
And now, when things are really happening, you want Jordan Poole to be like, hey, do it for the team. Be here for the team. What? I would hope, I'm not in Jordan Poole's situation. I would hope I would be able to say, man, it's about winning and I'm here to win. And that's all that matters. I would hope that's how it would be. But it's not out of the realm of possibility where you want me to care about the Warriors and the team right now? Where's the team when I got socked up? Where is it? I don't care about the team. Give me my money. I'm going to try and get my buckets because y'all don't care about me. So why should I care about you? That's what it is. Not to mention the guy who actually did it. I mean, and from what I've seen, it's never not once showed any remorse.
He made a TV show out of it.
Made a TV show out of it. Never showed any remorse.
Is angry the video is out. That's the only thing I've ever heard him talk about is, well, and it never got to the bottom of how the video got out. That's all I've ever heard him say about it.
Now, never made a public apology. Once it got public, it was a public situation. Now, I can't speak if he made a private one or not, but
but you can't. You can't. Once the video's public, the apology can't be private.
Exactly. I agree.
Say that.
I agree.
Go say that on your stupid ass podcast.
Exactly.
Go say that on your
You
stupid
say
ass
everything
TNT
else.
show.
You say everything else. Say that there. Apologize. It's not. He ain't showed no remorse whatsoever the whole time. It's the. Everybody talked about how he's a good teammate. I don't think he's a good teammate. I don't believe he's a good teammate at all. And this shows it.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, it's not a good teammate socking your teammate in the face. And then to show no remorse, to not do anything to make that right, and to be defiant of it all. Yeah, so you wonder why the guy's not playing well. What did Vanessa Williams say in Soul Food? They were like, what about the family? What about the family? The family. Well, the family after my husband.
It's true.
That's what Jordan Poole
did.
The team.
Right by the window.
The team after my face.
Wow. Well. What did the team do again?
Hit him in the face.
Oh, I heard something else.
That's a 15-yard penalty right there.
Man, that's.
It's like dealing with a sophomore class.
You might have to go on an actual timeout after that. That was a lot.
Come on, man.
That was a lot.
Come on, man. You guys are teenagers, man. Grow up.
I mean, Stephen,
grow up.
Stephen Brown's question's fair. The whole team? Well.
Hey, man, you guys grow up, man. Grow up.
Can you go take a lap, bro?
Yeah, just go get a orange soda.
I'm making a point here.
Like,
you guys grow up.
Go get an orange soda, and I'll take care of it from here. Just no one's laughing harder than you. That's what.
Because you guys are just sophomores, man. I tell you, boy.
I mean, you heard what you said. As long as you heard it, trying to bring this back together.
But point taken. Like, can you understand where, like,
no,
Jordan Poole to be
100%.
there for the team and
but here's the
be
thing.
a professional and all this? What? Be a professional?
I don't remember everything we say on this show, but didn't we talk about this months and months and months ago?
Yes.
Didn't we talk about this when it happened? Like, how do you just not deal with this?
Yes.
And I don't remember. Jesse, someone said the only punch him in the face on live TV.
Right.
And then you can experience what I experienced.
Yeah.
And no, you're not going to see it coming because I don't care how many NBA players that you get in pull aparts in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you don't get in fist fights.
You don't get
it
sucker
doesn't
punched.
happen, and you don't get punched in the face.
You don't get sucker punched. I think that's the difference. Like, I can imagine a fist fight in practice. I'm not going to be, it happens all the time, but I can imagine that. We square up, we going at it. You don't get sucker punched in practice. That was a sucker punch.
And Bonte said yesterday, or it might have been the day before, that the 95-7 the game would Jordan Poole benefit from a change of scenery and being able to listen to Bonte to a certain degree. I believe he's right. I think the situation around the Golden State Warriors can change that would make it better for Jordan Poole. But I also agree with what you just said. Why would he ever trust that organization again? Even if Bob Myers is gone and Draymond Green is gone and Klay Thompson is gone, why would he ever trust the organization again? Joe Lacob's still there. Steve Kerr's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Steph has a big role in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Steph could have deaded this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be suspended. Get him out of here. That's the way this has to work. I know Dre and Steph are boys. I know Steph loves Draymond Green. I know Steph wants Draymond Green back in a Warriors uniform. That's fine. But you want to lead. He can't be here right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't play when
we
start.
He was too worried about him being there for ring night.
That's it.
And the chickens have come home to roost because
right. And that's the crux of this whole conversation is we talked about this with Sacramento. We could look at Game 7. We could be frustrated with how Game 7 ended. But you shouldn't be, because everything that happened in Game 7, Mike Brown tried to correct in Game 10 and 15 and 16 and 17 and 18. How many times did we hear Mike Brown talk about offensive rebounds? How many times did we hear about hitting foul shots all season long? This Jordan Poole situation. How many times has this been talked about all year?
All the time.
How many times has he had ups and downs throughout the season? Why are you surprised by it now? Why are y'all willing to go all in on Jordan Poole now? Well, it's because it's the playoffs, and y'all and we joked the fan base saw this all coming to an end, whether it was against Sacramento when the Harrison Barnes shot went up, or here against Los Angeles. Now they really see it. And I don't think it's the fan base that's like, oh my God, this thing might be over. It's them dudes in Warriors uniforms that are like, yo, this to a certain degree is probably it. And it's probably best for everybody. I think a little higher of Klay than you do. I think Klay's time in the Golden State.
I think very highly of Klay. I don't think he's the same player that we have known. Like
that means you think extremely high of Austin Reeves.
See, I don't look at that as a diss either. Maybe I don't think Austin Reeves was balling in these playoffs. Like
Austin Reeves is a good player.
He put Memphis away
but
in game 1.
And that's fine.
LeBron deferred to him.
Clay's averaging like 21.
Yeah,
but that's not the point. We don't need to get it. The point is, Clay's time is done too. Like Draymond's time is done. Like everyone except for Steph Curry, everyone's time is done. And I think there's a deeper conversation that we can have like today, that we can have later on before your big heel turn that you're going to reveal on everybody.
No heel turn.
Also, it's a big one. But when we get that, like the missteps that the Warriors have had with this so-called like 2 timeline thing. Like the amount of talent that they acquired, the amount of draft capital that they had, that they have seemingly squandered at this point, to the point perhaps of no return, is what could send this team from, it's over. The dynasty as we know it is over. I don't think they'll ever truly be bad because of Steph Curry. But Steph is 35. And unless you got a hell of a plan for the next couple of years, when Steph goes, y'all are gone. And you had the opportunity to not be. Shoot, I thought they weren't going to be. I thought, man, when they got the lottery balls going their way, when they were, I mean, I don't even know if it was lottery ball. They were just terrible without Steph. When they got the draft things to go their way, I was like, oh, man, this is the worst thing that just happened to the league, because they're going to be good for a long time. But it really boiled down, at least in my opinion, they couldn't manage everybody's ego. And that's something. And again, I think Steve Kerr is a great coach, and I do believe he's doing the best he can with this. But it might be, there could be a Bob Myers factor in this. Could be a Joe Lacob. From what I hear, I think there is. No one calls Joe Lacob a meddling owner because they win. There's probably a real possibility the reason Draymond Green is still on the team is because of Joe Lacob. I know that's not that doesn't get talked about the same way, Trash and Vivek Ranadive does, because Joe Lacob has some titles to him. But he seems to be a big factor in why this whole thing has gone south. This whole so-called 2 timeline thing has gone south. And managing egos is probably, rephrase that, an inability to manage egos is probably a big reason why this 2 timeline thing completely failed.
And look, they got a championship out of it, so you don't ever look back at that, but and say, hey, we quote unquote should have done something different. But the abruptness of it ending, which it's ending right now in front of our very eyes, I think that has something to do with, you talk about not being able to manage egos. A guy like Draymond Green, guy like Klay Thompson. And like that has a lot to do with it. This season, and they'll never do it, but This season has so much to do with that Draymond punch.
Mm-hmm.
And not just that, we just went over it, but not just that, but the way it was handled afterwards. It could have ruined Jordan Poole. And Jordan Poole, like we'll like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but he was probably the reason, and he still could be, the reason why the two timelines would work the most. Because he is that good. He is a guy that can be like the Splash Brothers. I believe he has that type of talent and that type of skill offensively. And a guy like Draymond just ruined it. Like he ruined the Kevin Durant thing.
Wow. I'm noticing a thread here. But y'all will trash KD. You'll trash
really
Kevin Durant. You'll trash Jordan Poole. But you will die defending Draymond Green. I don't know, man. Maybe if DeMarcus won titles, the DeMarcus could stomp on someone's head and we defend him. I don't know. But it's just crazy. Shout out to DeMarcus Cousins, by the way. I think he scored 80 yesterday.
He was killing.
Like that man.
It's killing.
I do not understand why that dude isn't in the league, man. He clearly can still play ball.
And then also Draymond, we talking big picture, but small picture. Last night, Game 4, the game losing turnover.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you're running a little hammer play, but why are you leaving your feet? You can't go up on Dennis Schroeder on an offensive rebound and in that situation, and just throws the ball, just throws it away.
Well, not only did he commit all of those fundamental errors that you just outlined, LeBron knew he was going to commit every one of them. Every one of them. If you haven't seen the clip, it's highlighted on social media. You could he just pushes Anthony Davis over this side. Yep. Anthony Davis moves over, turns around. Draymond Green throws the ball right into his hands,
right there,
like he was Brock Purdy with the tat right there in his hands, and that's started the fast break.
Just tricked it off, And he always the one when somebody loses the ball or turns it over when he guard, he wanna yell and scream in somebody's face. Like, bro, you tricked it off. Like, that was about as easy as it gets. About as easy as it gets. I love Schroeder reaction.
Yeah, Schroeder's reaction is good. I know you hate this, but it's fun right now, so I'm going to use it. Get mad if you want to. Steph Curry last night, 3-point game, right?
Yeah.
+1. Clay +2. I know you do. Draymond Green -10.
I love it.
I know. That's how plus-minus works. You hate it if it doesn't work for your argument, but if it does, boy, you love it.
Did you see the unfair stats to Steph Curry?
The 0 and
yeah, it's like 0 and 14 or something.
I did.
With under 50 seconds to go.
Yeah.
With the game tied or down or something like that. Those are two terrible shots, man. Those Steph and
that's kind of a crazy stat, though.
It is kind of crazy. But what are the numbers if you push it out to a minute? You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, you can manipulate numbers.
I don't know what they are, but it could be one of those things.
Yeah.
But those two shots by Steph, I mean, those were bad shots. They've made a living off of hitting bad shots over and over again, and that's why they're the two greatest shooters we've ever seen. But make no bones about it. Like, I'm not teaching Reese, like, yeah, in that situation, take these shots. It's not what if you got anybody else on your team, but you're not saying, hey, take these shots.
But if you're Steph, like, where do you go in that situation?
To the cup.
You talking about just keep going to the basket.
Yeah, you went to the cup to play before. Cut the lead to 1. They were in the same pick and roll. You split it on AD. You get to the bucket again.
And that's why any sort of comeback from the Warriors feels far-fetched to me, because their legs, I feel like, have been shot for 4 games.
Well, thank the Kings. Real quick, the other thing.
Well, I mean, you say that tongue in cheek, but they played 7 with Sacramento.
No, I'd say that
LA was chilling.
That was it.
Yeah,
that was it. They gave everything they had to get past the Kings, 100%. Real quick, those 4 shots, the 2 from Clay and the 2 from Steph Curry. That's why Warriors world, the free throw discrepancy is what it is, because they live taking those shots. That's why.
You can say that as loud as you want to. They still won't understand. We'll come back. There's more we want to talk about with the Warriors as the day progresses, and there's more we will talk about with the Warriors. We got to get to the Miami Heat.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe it.
Man.
I love Jimmy Butler, though.
Up 3-1. And I want to talk Kings as well. Is the heel turn coming? Nope, heel turns later. You have been adamant.
Media say this.
You have been adamant about how this first-round pick for Sacramento could be a difference maker. I want to lock into that a little bit, and we'll do that here when Dealing with KC, brought to you by Sky River Casino, returns here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
Steph was amazing last night.
He
Outside
had to
of
be.
those last two plays, I mean, he was.
That brother had to be.
He was epic last night. I thought he was going to get it done. Oh, that would be tragic.
That I agree with. I absolutely agree with that.
What look, see, no. There's a lot of misconceptions about me and Canelo. I like Canelo. I do.
Dude, I'm getting
Canelo fans or something else. But I like Canelo.
I'm getting the Floyd and Canelo clip like recommended to me on Twitter now. You know what? You see what you did?
That's never gonna end. That one's gonna come up May. What is that? May 7th, I think.
I was scrolling through the little page with the trends and stuff, and has the videos like recommended for you, and it's freaking Mayweather punching Canelo in his face.
Every May 7th. Funny thing is that now that I think about it, that fight didn't even happen on Cinco de Mayo weekend. That fight was in September. Yeah, it was that weekend. I'll never forget that weekend because it was Johnny Manziel against Alabama at Texas A&M, and Floyd and Canelo. And my cousin had a wedding that I was in that day, and I missed it all. I wish. I actually ordered the fight, recorded it, stayed away from everything. I don't know how I did it. Stayed away from everything and everybody till about 11:30 at night, and then went home and watched the fight. And it was Danny Garcia versus Lucas Matisse in that card too. That was a big time fight. Oh my gosh. Flopping is getting out of control in this game.
I'm scanning Warriors World Timeline, and it is so much fun. Man. he quote tweets is it Kareth Burke, her report last night on what happened in the locker room.
Did you see that video of hers? Yeah.
And he says, frustration and immaturity, a bad mix. Locker room shared with champions. Be a professional. I got an idea, Warriors World, a person who runs the account. I'm going to come punch you in your fucking face. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to bring your stupid ass to come work with me. And when you do, because what you do is I want you to tell me how you react to that.
Right.
You tell me how frustration and immaturity is a bad mix. You tell me that.
Bro.
These goofballs, man. I can't lie. This Jordan Poole thing pisses me off.
It's crazy.
Y'all some suckers.
How many different times? Look, man. Once again, I would hope that I would be different. I would hope. That's what I strive to be. But I don't understand how people can't see the potential of Jordan Poole saying, like, I don't rock with none of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
None of y'all have my back. And this dude, 23, bro, no, I don't rock with it. I don't like you, dude. I don't like you. We're not cool. Period. So if y'all sink, y'all sink. You guys sink. I don't care. I got my money. If you want to move on from me, do that. But we're not cool. None of y'all have my back. We're not okay.
I just challenge anybody who doesn't see the Jordan Poole, see it through a different lens other than be a professional. Just imagine your coworker punching you in the face and then going, your company doing nothing, and you go, if Kenny punched me in the face and Stacy did nothing,
Some furniture moving.
I can tell you for certain this show would suck. Because if you think my ass is at home at like 9, 10 o'clock trying to figure out what we're doing today, I give a damn if there's dead air for 3 hours because Kenny didn't plan something.
Or, I mean, imagine that punch, too, was like viewed by millions of people on the internet.
Right.
And that's never going away. Like, Jordan Poole's always going to be the guy
That's
who's punched by Draymond Green.
That's his thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks.
And it constantly keeps coming up. Whenever something goes bad, this has to keep coming up. Has to keep coming up for Jordan. He's got to relive it every time. And then you combine it, do all that, right? Like if I punch you in the face and all this other stuff, and then when Sacramento Bee interviews me, I'm like, I don't know why Kimberly put it out there in public. Not, I'm sorry, Damian, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I don't know why Jesse put it out there. Never, not one. I just walk through these doors every day like, nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
We have a good show. I'm glad I got my voice back.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm back to leading. You'll be like, leading what? I don't follow you. Not cool. And all the yahoos out there just eat it all up.
Jason Anderson's article in the Beat, D'Lo really needs to be a professional. Needs to step up. James Ham over on that ESPN 1320 coverage has really died. Just D'Lo's got to do a better job. All right. There's that. The great part about the analogy is I don't think anybody can picture you getting upset enough to punch me.
No.
That is just not your.
That wouldn't happen.
Has Kenny even ever been mad?
I can think of one particular meeting, but where he said some people weren't working hard enough. But other than that, I don't think I've ever seen you mad.
And that wasn't even mad. That was just more stern.
Yeah, Kenny's like Jim in the office. He doesn't get mad. He exclaims.
He exclaims. Yeah, that's a good call. He exclaims.
Just gotta get after it. But no, mad. That was the last time I was really mad.
Your emotions don't they don't vary. Like you're never in a hurry. You're never.
No, you're never gonna see me sweat.
That's
now
it. Yeah.
in my inside,
Mm-hmm.
I may be like, oh, I got this, I gotta do that. Oh man, this is stressful. I got a lot going on. But on the outside is what's up?
Mm-hmm. That can be maddening sometimes.
Yes.
Let's get Leezy in here. 916-909-1320. Leezy Scorsese, what's up, baby?
D-Lo and KC was good, guys. Hey,
What's going on,
I was just
ATL?
calling. Oh, what's up? What's up? KC was good, brother.
Man, he said that like he was about to throw hands. What's up, Casey? What you want to do?
Ain't happy no
What you
more.
want to do?
Oh, I'm very happy, KC. But hey, just a quick stat and a quick comment. Last year in the playoffs, Jordan Poole had 17 or 50% shooting. He was doing great. This year he has, I believe, 11 on 30%. So obviously, like you guys mentioned, that punch really might still be affecting him. Who knows? But obviously, he's not playing well. But I just wanted to call in and talk to KC because the Miami Heat are going to smash them Knicks boys. Make no bones about it. Jimmy Butler's the straw that stirs the drink, and we're going to backhand them Knicks.
Wow.
That's it.
Man,
Oh,
Nick boys
man,
made me
that guy-
nervous. I was like, whoa, all right, Leezy. Hey, Leezy. It's radio. This ain't the stream. Woo. I looked right at Jesse. We both had that same trickle of sweat going down the side of our head.
Settle
Ooh.
down, sir. Be
Man,
careful. Be careful. Make sure you enunciate.
Yeah. Oh, hold on
Take
there.
your time in between your words.
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
I can't believe what's going on. Can't believe what's going on.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
The Heat, not only are they beating the Knicks left and right, it's easy work. It's easy work. Oh man, I can't believe this, man.
We just said we never seen KC distraught. This is the most distraught I think I've seen you.
Well,
it's not because you completely overlooked the Heat.
Yeah, I did.
We had someone here telling you, don't overlook the Heat. Don't overlook the Heat. And you wouldn't listen to the man.
Guess what's going to happen when they advance? I'm going to overlook the Heat. There ain't no way they beating Boston or Philly. Well, they might beat Philly. There ain't no way they beating Boston. No. And it's not going 7 this year. And sorry to my man Jesse, but I don't even like the Celtics. But it ain't going 7. That's where it'll end.
I did want to get to the Kings, but let's just stay with this. Let's just stay with this series for a few minutes since Leezy got us there. 916-909-1320 if you want to get in on the phone lines. Did you see what Julius Randle said post game?
Yeah.
A couple of people have brought that up in the chat.
That was
well, I mean, for those who didn't see it, Julius says maybe they just want it more. Maybe he's right.
Maybe he's right. A lot of people.
Now
I don't have a
tell the whole story. We do got to mention, and I'm not trying to be funny. I think this is important. Emmanuel Quickly didn't play yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He was out with
the best player off the bench,
sprained ankle.
Yeah,
and that's I understand Tyler Hero is out. Like I understand there's a lot of things that play with injuries, but I think that's an important injury to point out. Emmanuel Quickly is a player for the Knicks, and he wasn't available yesterday.
Yeah, I know people. I didn't think it was that big of a deal what Julius Randle said.
I didn't either.
A lot of people.
I think he might be right
though.
Well, I think there's a large percentage of Knicks fans, and maybe just a perception from basketball fans. They don't like Julius Randle, or they don't like Julius Randle on the Knicks. I don't know which one it is. I don't think Knicks fans like Julius Randle.
I think they liked him the year they made the playoffs. And
they didn't like him last year. And I don't feel like they ever wrapped their arms around him this year.
No, I mean, I think he got back into the good graces a little bit, but it was more about Jalen Brunson coming out there and doing what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that's clear to me now is Julius Randle, very good ball player.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere near being a 1. Nowhere near being a 1 and a franchise guy. He's a piece. He's a component. But you need 1, maybe 2 guys better than Julius Randle to be a championship level team.
Is Brunson a 1?
I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. You might need 2 guys because Brunson's better than Randle.
You got 2 2s?
You got 2 2s.
Mm.
And if you got a 1 to go with him, cool. But
what if you got a third 2?
Does
that work?
You might be able to get past the Heat, a broken down Heat.
Well, let's be fair though. Like
Kyle Lowry out here playing well. Wow.
Well, let's be fair though. The Knicks have won a series. Like this isn't the first round of the playoffs.
They beat the hell out of the Cavs too.
Which I didn't have that.
Mm-mm.
I thought the Cavs. Not only did I think the Cavs were better than the Knicks, I thought the Cavs were a lot better than the Knicks.
I thought it was going to go 7. I thought the Knicks might win. But I thought it was a close series. That series wasn't close.
No, it wasn't.
No.
I saw. You could have told me 5, but not the Knicks.
Yeah.
Not the Knicks.
So I mean, that's a good point too. But I just don't think. I don't think they got it. Julius Randle, not only is, and here's the dilemma, and I don't think this will be an issue, but I'm gonna relate it back to our people here in Sacramento. This is now the second playoffs where Julius Randle is underperformed. And that is troubling if you're a Knicks fan. Because if it happens once, all right, you get back and you work on your game and you figure some stuff out, how to be more effective. But it happens again. What are we doing here? What are we really doing? And I only bring that up here. I don't think this will be the case, but maybe this is a situation that you find the Kings find themselves in with Sabonis. I don't believe so, because I think Sabonis will be fine the next time they make the playoffs. But it's not about not elevating. It's underperforming with Julius Randle. That's troublesome. That's troublesome.
Steeling with KC on KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM, KRXQ, HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, always live on the free Odyssey app. You can get that on your smartphone, tablet. You can even access it just on your laptop. Go to ESPN1320.com, and you'll be able to access the Odyssey network from there. You can watch the show in its video form on twitch.tv/ESPN1320 and youtube.com/ESPN1320. Let's get Handsome Jack in here.
Oh, okay.
Handsome Jack, what's happening, man?
How you been, Damien? It's been a long time.
Great to hear from you, my brother.
Hey, man, KC, good to meet you. I've never actually spoken to you, but what you was just touching on with Jordan Poole about how if he just came out and said, like, hey, man, I don't rock with none of y'all. You didn't have my back. You kind of isolated me. You made me feel different from the rest of y'all. Hey, I got paid. What you guys are going to do is what you're going to do. I love that. I would absolutely love to see that move. And I don't care what team that man goes to. I am going to rep his jersey probably forever if he did that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Handsome Jack, like I wouldn't teach. Once again, I think about my son and what I'm trying to instill in him as a young man, as an athlete, all this other stuff. I wouldn't teach my son to go about it that way. But what I am saying is I understand. And I understand how it could be hard for Jordan Poole or somebody in that situation to get over some of the stuff that is going on. I get it. And who knows, there's also, like, in my opinion, like basketball reasons why he's not playing well. Like, it's a bad fit with Steph, Clay, and him there. And what they ask of him, like, I don't think basketball wise they've fostered an environment for him to play his best. I said the other day, they nitpick a little too much with Jordan Poole. I'm like, man, go out there and play your game. We're gonna live and die with what you decide to do. Don't feel no pressure. No, what's going on with the fans, that's what's going on with the fans. In this locker room, do you. That's what you're here for. You're here to get buckets and be another ball handler. So I wonder if basketball-wise, they haven't set him up for success. But as far as like the other stuff, I wouldn't teach my son to behave that way or to take it that way. I try to get him to strive to be better. But I understand if.
But is it behavior or emotion? Because behavior feels like you're purposely, and maybe I'm nitpicking words here, but behavior feels like you're almost purpose, like you're acting out, versus like emotionally, I can't get over this.
Yeah.
You can tell me to get over. You can tell me you want me to do something. In my mind, I can tell you I can do that.
Right. After
practice, you're telling me, hey, this is how you have to react. Or we'll stick with the example of Reese. Hey, this is how you have to handle this situation, Reese. I know it sucks, but this is how you have to handle it. You got it, Dad. I understand. He walks into practice the same day, sees number 23 over there. That conversation with Dad is gone. That's an emotional reaction more than it is a behavioral reaction.
I understand.
That's why I keep getting stuck at Jordan Poole. Like, how do y'all not see that you're at fault for this?
And so our guy GSW Vera in the chat, big ups to him. He's been rocking with us ever since the series, and he comes in, gives his thoughts. But he says, he's a Warriors fan. He says, bye Jordan Poole, such entitled attitude. What the hell is Draymond Green then? You talk about entitlement and feeling entitled. Draymond Green is the poster boy for all that. Draymond Green thinks he can punch somebody in the face and not have to apologize for it.
Well, he doesn't think he can punch someone in the face and not apologize for it. He can because no one told him to. Certainly, he didn't think of it on his own, and no one made him. He didn't think it was, made him. He didn't think it was the right thing to do. Again, regardless of what he may or may not have done privately, He didn't do it
He
publicly.
didn't do it publicly.
On one of his 50 forums that he's allowed to talk on. I noticed that what was yesterday? Game 4?
4.
I noticed game 3, he didn't have nothing to say. They
He-
threw his ass out there on the press conference.
He didn't do no podcast after
He-
game 3?
I noticed. I noticed he didn't do. You know how when he's going into Draymond Green mode, he's sitting down and he's got the kids up there and he takes the mic off the stand and he's telling y'all about how he did this and how this. I noticed the other night he's just fouls. Yeah, referee stopped the game. Foul line. Looked around looking for the next question. Like, oh, you don't have nothing to say today.
Always somebody.
You ain't missed the new media today. The dude is not held accountable for his behavior.
And JSW Vera again, he says he's gone above and beyond to try to make amends. No, he hasn't. To my knowledge, he has not gone on that podcast and said I was dead wrong for what I did. I apologize to you, Jordan Poole. That's above and beyond.
And we mentioned our guy's a Warriors fan. Enlighten us then. Maybe we were too busy following De'Aaron and DeMontis Sabonis and we missed it.
Maybe I didn't see it.
Enlighten us on how Draymond Green has gone above and beyond. Because Draymond Green talking about being at the gym with his kids and his kids going, no, we weren't. That got pushed out. That got pushed out on every social media platform from every little aggregating site. I feel like Draymond Green apologizes to Jordan Poole would have gotten pushed out there.
I agree.
So if we missed it, we missed it. Enlighten us. Help a brother out. But I missed it.
He said, yeah, I was in there working in the gym with my kids and, just working. No, we weren't.
Man, that man was LeBron and right there on the podium. Let's get we got TC? TC, 916-909-1320. What's up, TC?
What's up with my two brothers?
What up, TC?
Yes, sir. Hey, Jesse, give me a minute to rock for a minute.
Uh-oh.
Hey, look. All right, check it out. Look, Kitty. Hey, look, we gonna get to the Kings and the Lakers series, though. But listen, Kitty, back to the Heat. The Heat. You know what I'm saying? You got to give respect to Eric. Eric have his team up. They ain't broken. He have his team up every game and every series. You get what I'm saying? And he's consistent. I know you might be joking, but you're a former basketball player and a basketball mind. You're smarter than that. So, on another note, the Lakers and the Warriors are mentally and physically fatigued, bro, from that series. They were dealing with a lot with Draymond Green at the beginning of the year, but that series with the Kings, bro, man, that's all they had. So it's over, and I understand, D-Lo, what you said about it's over, and it's hard for them to understand that. It was hard for us to understand Game 7. So, I mean, they just got to live with it, bro. It's over.
I hear you, TC. To your Heat point, I love Eric Spoelstra, man, and what he's been able to accomplish in Miami, what he's been able to do. It's going up there as one of the great, I don't know what you call it. I want to say coaching jobs, but I mean, he's done this for, what are we almost at 20 years? Bron went, no, it's not 20 years. We're talking about 10, 12 years now that Eric Spoelstra's been doing what he's doing in Miami and fostering an environment, fostering a culture down there in Miami. He gets all the credit in the world for me. He's been phenomenal with what he's done. Jimmy Butler has been phenomenal seeing that out and continuing that whole thing. So big ups to all those guys. And TC, I agree with you. We said it on here when it happened. I thought the Warriors gave everything they had to get past the Kings, and the gas tank is empty.
As TC was talking, I was thinking about our brother. We'll just call him GV, GSW Bear, because he was talking about Draymond's gone above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, okay, it's possible we missed it. So I Googled Draymond Green apologizes to Jordan Poole. Found 1,000 headlines. Says Draymond Green apologizes to Jordan Poole. Clicked on 2 of them. Here's one from ESPN. This is Bob Myers. I'll get to the other one, but this is Bob Myers. The headline from Kendra Andrews says Draymond Green apologized to the Golden State Warriors on Thursday morning for an altercation with Jordan Poole the day before General Manager Bob Myers said. Here's was Bob Myers' quote. These things happen. Nobody likes it. We don't condone it, but it happens. Draymond apologized to the team. Jordan was there in the room. As far as any suspension, punishment, fine, we will handle that internally. Thought that was interesting. He apologized. He was in the room, so that counts as an apology. Now, let me find the article. Is it The Athletic? Nope, it was the New York Times. Draymond Green did give a press conference. Again, I'm getting pieces of the press conference here. I failed as a man. I failed as a leader. Green said it was embarrassing for both him and Jordan Poole. What I did was wrong. Let me find some more quotes from him. I'm a very flawed human being, but I'm trying to do the work to get better. I hurt someone because I was in a place of hurt. Again, that's an article with just a handful of quotes from Draymond Green at his press conference. You know what I didn't see? Jordan Poole, I'm sorry. Didn't see that anywhere. I saw I'm a lot. I'm a flawed human being. I'm this. I'm that. Didn't see anything about Jordan Poole, though. Now, again, maybe he spoke for 45 minutes in front of the adoring media who loves him so much, and maybe he did. But I feel like that would be the headline. Right. But I'm flawed as a human. Hurt people, I believe was the classic line that came out of that. But no, it's about how he's embarrassed. And Jordan Poole's embarrassed. Okay. All right, buddy.
Yeah,
I'll say this. We have very different definitions of what an apology is.
And once again, G.S. Vera, this is what we're talking about. He says he apologized man-to-man.
Not good enough.
Doors. He's not going to announce it to the media. Once it became public, there needs to be a public apology to Jordan Poole. Period. And clearly, what he did didn't work. What he did wasn't good enough. Jordan Poole don't rock with him. But once again, y'all defend him. Y'all defend every move you make.
What's the line? Make the apology as loud as the disrespect. Yep. Y'all are willing. This is what I'm talking about. Like Vera, again, we rock with him. He's a Warriors fan. Y'all are willing to die on the Draymond Green hill before recognizing his part in Jordan Poole not playing well. Like Jordan Poole just forgot how to play basketball. Like, are we really that naive in our thinking? Jordan Poole just forgot how to shoot. He can't be a scorer no more. Oh man, you missed me with that.
It hasn't been right since the beginning of this season.
Exactly.
It hasn't been right since.
And that's what we were talking about when we were talking about everything that went wrong with the Sacramento Kings in Game 7. They were year-long problems. What we're seeing right now in this Warriors-Lakers series, year-long problems. I want to talk about the Kings.
Let's talk about the Kings.
I actually want to talk about this upcoming. I did my first. I'm not going to call it extensive. It wasn't extensive.
I'm about to say, did you do a mock draft? Damian Barling's mock draft?
No.
I don't think I'm doing one this year. I did one last year.
I hope not, because I'm not sitting through 24 selections.
Yeah, because it was only top 10.
So it's a whole lot different when you're selecting.
Maybe I should do a top 10, even though the Kings aren't in there. I think I will.
Who are you doing that for?
The NBA fans. We got NBA fans to check in with us.
I agree with that. You can do what you want to do. If you want to do a mock draft, do a mock draft. But I did, for the first time, take a look at mock drafts and who they had Sacramento selecting. It was interesting for a variety of different reasons. I want to get your thoughts on this. I know you have been adamant about this upcoming pick in the draft and how it could be a big step for Sacramento moving forward. So we'll talk about that when D'Lo and KC, brought to you by Sky River Casino. Get in on the action. Sky River Casino is the place to play with over 2,000 of the newest slot machines and over 80 table games. Sky's the limit if you're 21 and over at Sky River Casino. More here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. Yeah, about resting LeBron.
Yeah, that guy's off his rocker. Wasn't he trying to say too the Knicks were struggling because of the heat of Miami?
He said the Knicks are struggling because of what?
The heat in Miami, because it's hot out there.
The heat? Oh my God,
it's craziness.
Maybe it's time for Greeny to just go enjoy his money.
I saw
that. Yeah. Damn, Adam. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, there's no need for that. You don't have to say it.
Harrison Barnes never had a fourth quarter like that.
Oh man. Oh no, Dave, you saw when I text the group chat yesterday.
Yeah.
He's learning already. He's learning already.
The Cole piece would have been as if he was actually in the picture. Hey, how do we get this out? Well, if that's the case, bro, y'all are going to be a losing franchise for the rest of Steph's career.
That's crazy.
If that's your line of thinking, you guys are going to lose.
That's crazy.
Because that dude's you
guy's been terrible
lose.
in 3 of the 4 games in this series. You're like, yeah, we want him.
What do they call it? Stockholm syndrome?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This guy's been awful
Yeah.
for at least 2 of these games. At the game losing turnover last night. Y'all telling me, and I agree, he's this great defender. Lonnie Walker put 15 on their head in the 4th quarter. What, Draymond can't guard it? Y'all told me he can guard everybody. Put Draymond on him. Slow everything down.
NBA all defensive teams announced today. Jaren Jackson Jr., Drew Holiday, Brooke Lopez, Evan Mobley, Alex Caruso headline the first team. Derek White, your boy, Draymond Green, OG Anunoby, Dylan Brooks, and Bam Adebayo make up the all defensive second team. Of course, all NBA will be announced tomorrow.
Okay.
It's got to be good for Dylan Brooks.
Yeah,
hit the market with an all defensive team nod on your resume.
The what I said at the beginning of, it's not free agency, but when the King season ended and Dylan Brooks was potentially on the market, I said, look, everybody talking about defense and all this other stuff. He comes into the building, he's probably your second best perimeter defender, and your only and clearly your best wing defender.
I got you.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
I got you. Does he take away from your offense?
It depends on where you have him. Once again, remember, I don't have him starting.
Right.
So I got him coming off the bench. I mean, they played Kessler Edwards a lot down the stretch, and it still enabled them to have a top flight offense. So I don't think just the one component would hurt him that much. But you never know.
Okay. We have, you mentioned Dylan Brooks, free agency. We've talked a lot about how the Sacramento Kings are going to improve headed into a season next year with certainly a different set of expectations than they had entering this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about the likes of Dylan Brooks, OG Anunoby, Kelly Oubre, Cam Johnson. Free agency, we really have kind of stuck. I guess OG's more of a trade, but we've really kind of stuck into the free agency pool and then hypothesized about potential deals that could be out there with the usual suspects of names or guys headed into the final year of their contracts and how Sacramento could get involved in some of those conversations. But you have been pretty consistent from jump that while all of that is important, you believe the Sacramento Kings can actually get better, maybe even significantly better with the pick that they're going to have at 24.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not alone here. A lot of people have talked about how deep this draft is. I mean, the first round is crazy, you know, with some of the potential talent. It is, remember, it is just potential talent. Like, it's nothing is proven. They don't know what's going to happen with these guys when they get to the NBA. But some of these prospects that are going to be available late in the first round are some really good ball players. And I think we're just, you know, because we're not in the lottery and in the 20s, I think 24 officially, you know, we don't think about that pick as being, you know, a really good ball player, somebody that can contribute to immediate success. And I look at this as with the deepness of the draft, an opportunity, if you hit it, to get a big time player on the cheap, you know, and be able to develop that player. And I know Monty and all those guys are doing their due diligence, but it's a big opportunity here for the Kings to add to their roster and also add, I keep saying an impact player, but I'm looking at a guy that could fill a need, like a 3-and-D guy, somebody on the wing that can obviously defend a little bit, but I want a knockdown shooter. I want a big time scorer. I think this playoff run showed you may need another one of those. You need another guy that can create his own shot. I don't think I'm a big. You can't ever have too much offense. That's just the way that I believe. You can't have too many guys that can make a shot, that can create their own shot. So yeah, the offense was great. I want to stockpile those type of guys. And this draft is an opportunity to find a young guy like that on the cheap.
Do you have names in mind? Have you started the process of looking
really
at?
I mean, I've seen mock drafts, and there is the guy out of Ohio State, Bryce
Sensabaugh.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Who's labeled as a 2-3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He's 6'6". He looks like a really big dude.
He does.
He looks really big.
Not to go lean on you, but
he looks like a big dude. He ain't hungry. But he's 6'6". He's listed as a 2-3. He's one of the three guys I was reading about this morning.
Yeah, you know, knockdown shooter, can create his own shot. That's a guy that has me intrigued.
And a freshman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think they say he wasn't supposed to be. He wasn't looked at as one of those one and done guys, but I mean, he has such a great season. You know, he's in there. He's going to be a first round pick. So that's the type of guy. When I saw him, that's the type of guy I'm looking at. That's the type of guy that you know, maybe take a swing with at that 24 spot. But I want a guy. I know a lot of people will be talking about 3-and-D guys and defenders and wing defenders and all that. I get that. I understand that. I kind of feel like you have that with Kessler Edwards already, a young guy that's just looked at as a wing defender. I need somebody to go give me a bucket. That's something that kept going through my head during these playoffs, is outside of the system, outside of the offense that's being ran, who can I give the ball to in isolation and say, I need 2 or I need 3. Make a shot, be a shot maker in this situation. We're hoping Keegan can develop into that, but if he does or he doesn't, it really doesn't matter in the respects to who you should be looking to draft. I want another bucket getter on this squad.
NBC Sports was the second mock draft I looked at, and they had Bryce Sensabaugh from Ohio State. First one I looked at was USA Today. I was surprised to see that they had Chris Murray there at 24 for Sacramento.
Yeah, and Chris Murray's in that range.
And NBC, just because it like that USA today was the first one I looked at. There was Chris Murray. I was like, oh, okay. I think NBC had him at like 17, and I looked at CBS. I think they had him at 19. CBS was the one that kind of caught my attention. Jaime Jaquez Jr. From UCLA. A couple of things stood out immediately about him. He's a senior, which immediately made me think, feel like Monty would like that. And the description on Jaime he's the most, stop me if this sounds familiar, please. He was the most ready guy potentially in the first round. Like he'll walk onto an NBA court and contribute for you right away. He could potentially be a role player on a high-end team, a championship for years to come. And that stood out to me in his description.
I liked him at UCLA for sure.
And I think he's listed as a 2.
Yeah,
but his highlight reel,
he's like a 3.
Sure looked like a 3 to me.
Yeah, I want to say off the top of my head, he's like 6'6", maybe even 6'7".
If he's listed, he is listed as a 2. He is a 3. Like you go watch his packages on YouTube or wherever you get your highlight packages from. Yeah. Like he plays like a 3.
I like his game.
And they play him like a 3.
I liked his game at UCLA. Off the top of my head, and it may not matter. I mean, he can go where he goes. I feel like he's more of a second round guy than using my first round pick on him. But I mean, maybe he's going in the first round regardless. I've seen another mock. I think it was the Ringer mock draft from Kevin O'Connor that has Jaime going in the first round as well.
I was going to say, what I didn't look is to see what the other sites I was looking at had him listed as.
Yeah, so he might be consensus in the first round in a number of these mock drafts, but I look at him as more of a second round type guy. And I don't like him more than I like Bryce.
Bryce right now is your 1?
And I haven't done a big deep dive. There's other guys I want to look at. I saw Kobe Jones out of Xavier. I saw him mock to the Kings. I think it was in the Ringer one as well. I want to look more at him, but Bryce is the one that I've seen that.
In this USA Today one, they got 6'6", 235, and double check that 235.
That's what Stephen Brown thinks he is.
Leave Stephen Brown alone. They have him going 20th to the ultimate draft developers, the Golden State Warriors. Which you can say that seriously and sarcastically. This one I pulled up has Kobe Jones, the guy you just mentioned, at 24 for Sacramento.
Is that the Ringer?
No, this is a subsidy of USA Today.
Okay. Yeah, I want to look at Kobe Jones a little bit more. But I hadn't gotten into it yet.
Chris Murray to the Pacers, which is fun.
Because I've seen a lot of Chris Murray around like 17 to 21.
And there's Jaime.
Jaime's
30th in this draft.
Yeah. So. I like Jaime. I try not to put those type of restrictions on the young guys like that, but I just always thought of him as more of a second round guy.
He has shot up draft boards as of late and is viewed as a potential late first round pick that can step in immediately and contribute off the bench. He projects to be a good fit here. They have him at 30th with the Clippers, with his scoring and potential on defense, with his 6'11" wingspan, listed at 6'7", 225.
The other thing to think about with these players is the NBA game, while it's tougher with the talent, it is a lot more wide open. And you talk about a guy like Jaime, who was the main focus of pretty much everybody that UCLA went against. Well, he's going to get some wide open looks here, because he's not going to be the main focus. He's going to be a catch and shoot guy, a finisher more than a creator, which is what he was at UCLA. then maybe that helps his game out. Maybe that the simplification sometimes of on the offensive end in the NBA can help out these guys. So I always try to think about that as well.
Is your idea at 24 a role player, like a bench player, or?
I think he'll start off that way this year. The hope is that if I was Monty McNair and I was drafting, I'd be we'll just use Bryce as an example. I would be looking at him as a guy that can score, and if everything goes right, he's going to be one of my top scorers in my starting lineup maybe 2 years from now. He's going to be one of my top options. That would be the plan.
Okay.
You kind of know my philosophy on this after we've done, I think, 3 drafts together now. I feel like you can, like, you talk about a guy like a glue guy or somebody that, is a defender and rebounder and all that. I feel like you can get those guys anywhere. Okay. I don't want to minimize them. Like a guy like Herb Jones. Herb Jones is really, it's phenomenal, right? So those guys are.
That was a fine, though.
Yeah.
That was a fine.
Was Herb Jones a second round guy? He might have been.
I feel like Herb Jones was second round.
Yeah, like if you find the right guy, like they're super beneficial to your team. So you need those guys. But I feel like the first round is where you take big time shots at big time offensive talent.
Herb Jones drafted 35th.
Yeah.
Let's get Big Al in here, 916-909-1320.
I thought about Big Al yesterday. That's after the Lakers won.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure he wants to talk about the Lakers. Maybe he wants to talk about UCLA. What's up, Big Al?
Yeah. I'm that time. First, I got to give Casey a massive thank you, Casey, because this Jordan Poole thing, I'm telling you, you were in the locker room. I never made it to your level, high school level, and of course, way different, but still. Not a good atmosphere, and I totally supported your concept. I mean, I think Mr. Green, he's making money. He wants to make money. I don't know if they'll keep him around. Maybe they will. Or he should just go off and because he's going to be a really good analyst, I think, for NBA.com, whoever. I mean, he is entertaining to listen to, and he's not the nicest guy. We know that. He is not a super nice dude at all. As it goes to Jaime Jaquez, my cousin who coached high school basketball 30 years down in Camarillo, knows his dad, who was a big-time volleyball player at UCLA. Jaquez I like a lot, but I'm just afraid in the NBA, his foot speed's a little slower. He's got great hands. But all that work you saw, I watched every single UCLA game. All that work he did inside the paint, oh, no, that ain't going to happen the same way in the NBA. Just not going to happen. Just won't.
That's what I think about as well.
Good stuff, Big Al. We appreciate you, man. Thank you. 916-909-1320. First post King's call, I think, from Kamara.
Hey.
If you want to sponsor Kamara's call, you can. Contact rich.ripley@odyssey.com. What's up, Kamara?
Oh, no. First of all, man, I've been super busy, so I just couldn't jump on the call.
Well, we've missed you, like, every day. Hey, where's Kamara? Hey, where's our guy in Orlando? Hey, I don't know, man. He don't even text me no more. The thread has gone quiet now that the King season's over.
No. I mean, listen. First of all, I'm liking the words of losing because they were so obnoxious during the series that seeing how it ain't no fun when a rabbit gets the gun on that side of it, right? So, I mean, as far as like the playoffs are concerned, man, it's kind of been interesting because the Denver series has been the most interesting series. This Lakers series has not been that interesting. I know the games have been close except for like one, but I don't know. It's not really great basketball. Am I tripping on that or? Like,
I thought yesterday was really good. I thought game 1 was really good. Obviously 2 and 3 were blowouts, but I thought like I said, game 1 and game 4, I thought those were good games. I've enjoyed them. Yeah.
I wanted to ask this question with you guys, man. This is Kings related. So Sasha, we're trying to get him over here, but are we saying that's a replacement for Harrison and in that lineup, or is that what y'all seen? Or is that just he's going to be one of our top 8 guys, and we're still looking for a starter in that in that position? Like, because we need rebounding and defense, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Sasha fills that role necessarily. So how do you guys see that happening?
Yeah, that's something that I tried to get to the bottom of with Hammer yesterday, and I don't know that we did, because I think the way I posed the question is there room for Sasha, Trey, Harrison? Like, does this all like check out with all of these guys here?
Mm-hmm.
And I think James said, like, I don't think that it does. So it doesn't sound like Sasha is a guy who's going to fill a potential void. Stay tuned for Harrison Barnes. But it sounds like it's just more depth.
Yeah.
Again, I think and understandably, he's playing really, really well in his league right now, in the EuroLeague right now. So I understand everyone's like fascination over it, and the young man is scoring, like, he is buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You have the romanticized idea of this potentially being Bogdan Bogdanovic, second version of Bogdan. Yo, great, or Page, whatever. I'm with it. But it feels like maybe we're doing a little too much with this.
Yeah,
because I think one thing James laid out was Mike wants him, Monty wants him,
Mm-hmm.
like the organization wants him here. But it sounded like it was made clear to him, do you want to come over here and play a role on the Sacramento Kings team, or do you want to stay over there and be a star? Because by all appearances, he's a star.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't look at Sasha as the missing piece to this team, but I do look at him as being a piece,
a fine
to
acquisition.
this team, and if they could bring him over, the money works out, and because like if the money works out, I don't think it's like that expensive.
No.
So yeah, bring him over. I think he'd definitely be part of the rotation. I like what James is talking about when you say he's probably going to be, a 4 off the bench or something like that. Add shooting situationally, depending on if he adjusts a certain way. Maybe he's somebody that, you have in late in games. That's what I'm always thinking about. Guys that can be in crunch time. Can he play crunch time? Obviously, we don't know. But if he's a floor spacer like that, and I'm not saying he's in to replace Harrison, but in Game 7, maybe he can space the floor and be out there as opposed to a guy like Harrison. Or if Herter's not hitting, maybe you got him out there. Whatever the case may be, can you picture a scenario where he's in there in crunch time? If you got that type of guy that you're bringing over, yeah, let's do it.
916-909-1320. Our man Mitch.
Hey,
Mitch, what's going on, brother?
Jamie, KC, hope everything's well.
Yeah, man, what's going on with you? You staying away from those dogs?
Working, feeding the dogs. They're beautiful now. I'm back on good terms. I did have a little problem with my in-laws. The first 10 minutes, babysitting him for a couple hours. I was getting a little scared. I was having flashbacks.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
And then I decided, say, hey, let me pick up this 100-pound bar. Maybe I'll put some muscle on me. Nah, those days are over. My back's been sore a little bit, but it could have been worse. It's going away. I dodged a bullet again.
I'm glad to hear.
I know.
That.
Why was I thinking picking up a 100-pound Belgian Shepherd?
I'm not sure.
Don't do that, Mitch.
Not sure. You know that. I'll make it freaking. I'll make it quick. I don't know what Golden State is playing small ball. You're going against two Hall of Famers, LeBron and AD when he wants to play. Alternate days, street clothes, whatever Nick and he's going to be a Hall of Fame. He has longer. But anyway, they're great. That was the point. Looney deserves to be playing more. Should be playing more. 2, what do you think about my USC getting Brian to come for at least a year?
I didn't know you were a USC
Wait a second.
fan.
Hang
Where'd
on.
that come from?
Keep Mitch. We've got to get to the bottom of a couple things.
Sure, go ahead.
Mitch, you live in New York. You live in New Jersey.
I'm from Staten Island. Remember
Shout
that?
No,
man,
where
stand
do
up.
you live?
East Windsor, New Jersey.
Okay.
East Windsor.
Why are you a
West
USC
Coast?
fan? Yes.
I don't know, since Vince Evans, post OJ. I vaguely remember him, but he come Charles White, name is
Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen.
So
Ricky Bell.
How did
Ricky
the Kings?
Bell, God bless him.
How did the Kings get wrapped up in this?
How did the Kings? I like some of their players. Mitch Richmond finished his career. Jay Williams. I know I like quite a few teams. I'm more of a West Coast guy. I'm living East Coast. I've got family down here. I'm staying put.
Do you like the Knicks at all?
Come over to heckle you. What's that?
No, I love it.
No, we love it. We love it. Do you like the Knicks at all?
I'm hoping they can pull it out, but I mean, Butler's a one-man show.
Yeah.
What's going on with Julius Randle?
No. I don't know. We just talked about that. I don't think he's the number one, Mitch.
No, but he wants to get paid. And Brunson and especially Jason Hart, love him. Villanova guy, see Villanova. They're not West Coast.
You like Villanova? You a Villanova fan?
I in the big when there was a Big East.
Yeah,
that
Mitch
was great
like
when they
me.
beat
He likes
Patrick
a lot
Ewing.
of people. A lot of teams. He's like me. That's why me and Mitch get
I
along.
like you guys too.
Well, thank you, Mitch.
We like you too, Mitch.
Okay, so Mitch is an East Coast guy who loves the sports on the West Coast.
It's kind of like me. I'm a West Coast guy that likes East Coast stuff.
Well, okay.
I mean, well, really, the Knicks are the only team on
She's
East Coast.
gonna start shouting Wu-Tang next. Like, what are you talking about?
The Knicks are the only East Coast team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who else besides the Knicks?
I used to like the Sixers when AI was over there.
Well, you did. Yeah. If you ever are on a show that has 2001 Philadelphia 76ers trivia, contact Kenny Caraway right away.
That's it. That's the only East Coast teams I like. I like the Yankees. Ironically,
Dennis
I like
Rodman's
the
son's
Yankees
going
and
to
the Mets.
USC.
Oh, really?
DJ Rodman.
Oh.
Are you watching what is that? It's
those stuff on TNT.
Yeah, Rich
I
and
haven't seen it.
Shameless.
Yeah, I haven't. I got a couple recorded. I haven't watched them yet.
I think mine are recording too. I haven't watched.
Did you see the one? I think this was old. This was like last year, but the one with the guy who stole the Wu-Tang thing, the jackass.
No, he didn't steal it. Didn't he bid?
He bought it.
He bought it.
And then he was doing something nefarious with it. He was either going to release it or he wasn't going to release it. That's what it was. He's like going to destroy it or something like that. And I guess I wanted to watch it. That's why I pulled up. I guess Wu-Tang pulled up on him. He was talking crazy too. And I think like Ghostface or somebody pulled up on him. Had him shook.
Y'all might want to learn some of these hip hop artists' backstories before you start talking crazy to them. Them dudes in the Wu-Tang got backstories.
Yeah.
All of them. And they don't involve rap.
They're from Mitch's hood, Shaolin, Staten Island, stand up. Shout out to Aceberg Slim over on Staten Island. Spent a lot of good time on Staten Island. I was on the Staten Island ferry one time. That thing be crashing into the dock. They had a really bad one time. But like this was like a normal occurrence. You be on the Staten Island ferry, kind of crashes into the dock, makes a sound a little bit. People just go ahead and read their little books like nothing happened. I'm like, do you guys see this? And then one time it crashed like really bad. A lot of people got hurt.
Well, this is a terrible story.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't do that anymore.
I think Staten Island is where you start the New York City Marathon.
Really?
Because it says you've got to touch, the thing is you hit all the boroughs, right? So you literally start in Staten Island, hit the bridge, run over it, and you're out of it. Like you start, your feet are technically there in Staten Island, and then go, and then that's not exactly how it goes, but you get the idea. Yeah. You run over the bridge, and you're not in Staten Island.
Hit all
anymore.
5 boroughs. Is this the time of the year where we talk about Sacramento boroughs again?
No, we did that. That's like 2 years ago.
That was great content.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. That conversation went on for days.
I think we posted
like a throwaway comment too.
Yeah, I think we posted a social media clip about it.
We did.
That's how serious it got.
Yeah, it was heavy.
It was literally like a throwaway comment, like wonder what Sacramento boroughs. It lasted for like 2 weeks.
It really did. It went on forever. Kenny trying to bring it back here in 2023. How about that? We'll come back. There's plenty more to talk about, and it is on the way.
Oh my God! This is not what happened.
Kenny Caraway's latest heel turn. Coming up here on Sacramento Sports Leader. ESPN 1320. That's fine. I got it.
What's their names? Olympicanos? I don't know. They just won. I guess it's the championship. I didn't think it was the championship, but I guess they won.
That's not the team. That's
Yeah.
the team before, right?
They let flares off, and they got a bunch of flares in this arena. It's kind of crazy. Yes, Chris, we figured it out after a few weeks or so. We don't have boroughs because boroughs have their own. I don't know how. What was it?
Was it like zip code or something?
Not their zip code. They got their own government. Isn't the right word, but
Mayor.
no, it wasn't even mayor because there's a mayor of Elk Grove, I think. But it was like something we've kind of figured it out. Where like the I forgot what it was, but they have like Queens has the Queens Police Department, the Queens Fire Department, the Queens. Yeah, I forgot. But matter of fact, maybe it was mayor. Maybe like they don't have a mayor of Queens. The mayor of New York City is still the mayor of Queens. But Elk Grove has their own mayor. West Sac, I think, has their own mayor, things of that nature.
Borough talk, it's provocative. Gets the people going.
It gets the people going. Municipality. Maybe that's what it's called. Yeah, they play at they're playing at Harwood on Saturday, matter of fact. They play at Harwood and at Courtside. That place could be a little better, but it's still cool. Alfonso, I think it's actually the opposite is what we came up with. So in New York City, you have, like I said, the boroughs. The mayor of New York is still the highest ranking official in Queens, Staten Island, Brooklyn, all that. The mayor of Sacramento is not the highest ranking official in Elk Grove. The mayor of Elk Grove is that. I think that's the difference we came up with. I believe.
We need to bring this back to the air.
No, that's not what David Jackson. I told you what it was. It's not that. Obviously, it's the mayor. And I'm sure there's a different like terminology for it, but that's the one that made sense to me. There's a mayor of New York City that oversees all the boroughs. No, I don't know. Maybe you're right, Alfonso. I don't know. I don't know. Who has a bigger jump next season, Davion, Nimi, or Kessler? My vote will go to Davion. Davion Sneaky might have a big time year. Oh, it's popping. Borough Talk is popping in the chat.
It's back.
1320, your Borough station.
It's back. Live on the Odyssey app, live on twitch.tv/ESPN1320, youtube.com/ESPN1320.
Borough Talk is popping right now.
I'm staying out of the Borough conversation this year.
Clip it. We'll have 2 weeks.
It's what the people want. Can you imagine those conversations we'll be having like on July 22nd on a Tuesday when nothing's going on?
Man.
Woo.
You said we had
camp will start around that time though.
July 22nd.
49ers training camp.
Sure.
Around that time, maybe a week later. It always starts around my birthday.
Okay. Well, because like last year, the Hall of Fame game was like August 3rd or something. Let's get Daniel in here. 916-909-1320. What's up, Daniel?
Hey, fellas.
What's up, man?
It's time to talk 49ers. Yes, it is.
Well, I mean, they're always I always got an eye on the 49ers a little bit. I see some of the stuff that's going on. Like I said, I didn't like the fact that Trey Lance couldn't even get to the game last week and they had Sam Darnold on there. Yo, get Trey some tickets.
Okay, this is where I'm going, Casey. I don't know if you saw what the OC of the Bears said about Fields. They said that he's making a gigantic jump this year. He's going to be way better than he was last year. And that just makes me bitter because I think Trey Lance is better than Fields. And I think the Niners have just so dropped the ball with this poor kid.
He broke his ankle.
How is Darnold getting more play than Trey Lance? Darnold is a bust. He's a bust. He throws interceptions left and right. He fumbles the ball. He's a bust. How is this guy getting more play over Lance? I don't understand how the Niners have messed this up so bad.
Well, technically, there's no playing going on right now, but if they are doing some type of mini camp or whatever, I haven't seen that Darnold is getting more play over Trey Lance. Everything that I've seen, everything that I've heard, Kyle Shanahan, all those guys, if they have to make a choice today, because remember, they're holding out for Brock Purdy. That's what they're really holding out for. But if they have to make a choice today, Trey Lance is QB1.
The hell is going on right now? What are we talking about? What did he mean? Sam Darnold's getting too much publicity?
Maybe
too
that's
much media
more so
attention.
What he was talking about, because he's not getting any play.
That's got nothing to do with that. Like, don't put any stock in that. It's not coming from San Francisco.
No.
It never comes from San Francisco. Look no further than the Mac Jones fiasco. Look no further than their reporters who will still, you talk about dying on the Draymond Green hill. They will die on the 49ers. We're going to take Mac Jones hill. They will die on that hill to this day. Yeah. So much so that in the middle of last year, when Brock Purdy was the quarterback, they were still referencing Mac Jones in the San Francisco 49ers.
That's crazy.
You're not getting any information regarding the 49ers plan from anyone involved with the San Francisco 49ers. Sam Darnold, I saw the push notification. Sam Darnold may start week 1. Sam Darnold, sneaky acquisition for the San Francisco 49ers. None of that came from San Francisco. It all said rival executives, which, as we have learned here on the D-Lo and KC show, that could mean the guy who gets the coffee. You get the executive title when you go get someone coffee. So ignore that. Yeah. Don't worry about that. And also, let's be sure that, like, I wouldn't be so quick to say Sam Darnold sucks.
Yeah, I don't think Sam Darnold sucks.
There's not a lot of history that points to otherwise, but I am going to take into account that the fact the last 2 quarterbacks that team has drafted are gone, so much so that they had to go through this fiasco to get the biggest jerk in the history of professional sports on their team.
Where's that? I think
then sign his BFF. Man, I have never rooted for a team to lose every game they play.
Sorry, Ace.
But I will be doing that this year.
Yeah, sorry, Ace. But
I ain't sorry.
Look, I don't think Sam Darnold is some type of bum or a scrub. I also don't think he's should be or is going to be QB1 for the 49ers. Trey Lance, and then, he talks about, he gets upset because Justin Fields, they're saying he's about to make a big jump or whatever. Trey Lance broke his ankle.
Yeah.
Broke his leg.
I don't think they really dropped the ball with him.
No, he wasn't
literally the starting quarterback.
He's a starting quarterback. He wasn't going to start his first year. I mean, if people want to take umbrage with that, okay, cool. But they got to the NFC Championship game that year. They were up 10 in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game. Jaquiski Tartt drops the sure interception that would have put it away. It's not a good memory. But I mean, he wasn't going to start that year. So there's that. And then it was like, okay, you did your development. Time to play. Breaks his ankle.
Did you see the Jim Irsay, the Colts Commanders story?
This dude.
I'm not going to kill Jim Irsay for this. So Irsay tweeted what felt like for some, it may have come out of nowhere. But Irsay tweeted, if anyone tampered with Andrew Luck, we're going to find out, or it was something along those lines. And a lot of that comes from a story you probably missed involving the Cardinals and Eagles because it dropped on draft day, not by accident. They announced the punishments over this so-called self-reported violation from the Cardinals. The Cardinals, allegedly, the Cardinals people called, I forgot the brother's name, their new head coach, but he was on the Eagles, and called them after like winning the NFC championship or something to congratulate him, but made mention like, hey, yeah, no, cool, congratulations. We got a vacancy open, and so we'll keep this thing open for you. And that's illegal. That's not allowed. And so the Commanders, I think Mike Florio wrote a report that said, it felt like in 2021, the Commanders just kind of punted on the quarterback position, whereas the year prior, they were turning over every stone to try to find the right. They even contacted Andrew Luck. That sparked Jim Irsay's tweet like, oh, really? Okay, let this be known then. Well, now the NFL is investigating the Commanders to see if they did, in fact, tamper with Andrew Luck. And what it resulted in was, I think, a pick swap. Philadelphia was able to draft an Arizona spot in the third round, and Arizona wound up drafting in Philadelphia spot.
Well, it's much like what we talk about in the NBA. Like, it happens. Do you really want to be the whistleblower? Do you really want to be the guy that says, hey, they're doing this and that? Jim Irsay?
To be fair, what I think they need to do is they need to change the hiring process in the NFL. They need to start the hiring process after the Super Bowl.
So it shouldn't be earlier, is what you're
because saying. Because a team, be it Philadelphia or whoever, you don't want to do this, obviously, because you're invested in your staff and you want them to grow. And, we see this with Kyle Shanahan and his coaching staff yearly at this point. You don't want to deny their ability to interview, but you don't want them interviewing. You let them interview, but you don't want them to because an interview isn't just like showing up in a tie and talking. Like, you've got a game plan. You have like PowerPoint presentations and folders that you present. Like, a lot goes into interviewing for a job as a head coach in any sport. And so I think this should push a change in the hiring process. But yeah, I get your original point that if you're Jim Irsay, do you really want to be the whistleblower and who's tampering when we all know it doesn't take long on the start of free agency, the start of the legal tampering period, to know who's been talking and who hasn't.
Right. To your point about the hiring.
Thank God Magic Johnson waited till 12:01.
Well, he's a man of integrity.
Right. He didn't have to wait till 9:01.
Didn't have to wait.
He could have gone in the house 3 hours earlier.
But
he was sitting outside LeBron's house.
Just making sure.
That's right.
Making sure.
It's solid.
So the thing about that with the hiring process, though, is wouldn't that, in the thought process, in theory, that would put the successful coaches behind the 8 ball, because unless you're saying the NFL season ends, not when the team season ends.
No, the NFL season.
Okay.
The Super Bowl.
Okay.
When the Super Bowl is over, you can fire your coach whenever you want. But the interviewing process cannot start for your next head coach until the Super Bowl is over.
Got you.
And like, it puts, like, it creates situations like you have, there are teams who can get a full, month and a half head start on their hiring process, but you also you're probably picking from a staff that's still in the playoffs. And then you don't know if a team underachieves or something goes south and you have a you have a head coach losing the NFC Championship.
Right.
But the hiring process, the hiring process started at the end of week 18.
Right.
And so that kind of puts everybody at a disadvantage. Not with free agency, allegedly, as the rules are set up, everyone starts at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can roll our eyes on that, but that's the way it's set up. It's not that case. It's not the case with coaches.
Right.
The flaw in that could be, and I'm trying to think this one through, and I can't think of a time that it's happened, because it obviously happened in the NBA that we're all aware of recently with Minnesota. But I was thinking it could increase in-season coaching firings. But if you made the rule, you can't interview for another coach. You can't interview a coach on another staff until after, whether it's week 18 or week 8.
Mm-hmm.
You can't interview a coach until after the Super Bowl is over. Then maybe that would create a more level playing field for good coaches.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, because I'm not a big fan of these guys having to make a decision to, well, they don't really make a decision. They always take the interview, but having to take
not always. Who was there was the Giants, one of the coordinators for the Giants.
Last year?
No. The year they went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
He missed, and I can't remember who it was, because obviously it wasn't Spagnuolo. He wound up getting a job. I think that person wound up getting a job, but they didn't get a job that cycle because the team was like, we've got to make a hire. We can't wait for you guys to finish.
Well, no, you're right. But what I was saying was Bob Salah, when he was with the 49ers, like, they have to take the interview. They can't say, hey, I want to focus on this playoff run right now. Can we do the interview afterwards? No, they can't do it. They have to take the interview, which takes, some type of energy away from.
Well, in some cases, and that's what I mean. In Coughlin's case, it was like, no, you can't take the interview. You can interview when this is over. You can't take it now. And the team call was like, we can't wait. Like, we can't wait to even interview you. Right. After we have to make our hire, and they lose out in the hiring cycle.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a good call by you. Put it after the Super Bowl.
It completely avoids things like this, so you don't hear about these very often. I feel like they happen a lot more than they're reported. But
it's like, what is the 3 weeks that you have to wait? Is that going to affect what you do in the draft?
Yeah, it's and that's the other bizarre thing. Like, it doesn't. It just makes you feel better.
Right.
And you probably feel like you have, like, if you fire your coach at week 18, you feel like you have a leg up. That's why you see some coaches fire their coaches at 17 and 16. Like, what'd you go through all of this for? Well, you just want to, you just toughed it out as long as you could. Now you have a leg up in the hiring process. You eliminate all of that. Right. You eliminate all of that. Well, you do, though, because you have an earlier start, because now there's no rule in place.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't mean you still can't screw it up.
That's what I mean.
But you
like,
do. You could absolutely still screw it up.
I don't guarantee that you get it right,
right,
or get the right guy. But yeah, you have a 3, possibly 4 week start on the team that loses in the NFC Championship game or something like that.
You could fire your coach and hire Luke Walton. It doesn't. You could approach this however you want to.
Shout out Luke. Cut another stray.
It's not as regular as the Buddy Hield strays, but it's there.
Buddy Hield, one of the Kings, first team,
one of 10, rookie. 1 of 10, baby. It's so great that the only 2 names you two couldn't figure out. James has covered this team for 13 years. The only 2 names you guys couldn't figure out were 2 of the 3 most recent. Stilo and KC here on KIFM West Sacramento 98.5 FM, KRX QHD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, always live on the free Odyssey app, live on twitch.tv/ESPN 1320 and youtube.com/ESPN 1320.
Oh my God!
Go ahead.
Wait just a minute.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell everybody what you're thinking.
All right, man. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, but whose side is he on?
I'm gonna say it. I want everybody to know. What the hell is going on here?
What is he doing? God! Is he the third man? He's the third man. What the hell is going on here?
Oh, Dusty.
So I'm looking at the Sacramento Kings and what they need to do this offseason. We've talked about it. There's been a lot of questions, a lot of back and forth, and thinking about different guys, about how do we get better? Do you go after a small forward? Does Harrison Barnes stay?
Mm-hmm.
Does Keegan move to the 3 and we go after a power forward? Like, what's the move? How do we make the move? And I was just thinking, man,
Mm-hmm.
you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm off base. This may be one of the few times in the next 2 or 3 years to really elevate your roster. And you have to make a decision. I'll put it to you like this. If you look at the roster with Harrison Barnes and you don't believe you can win a championship or be a championship contender, you have to move on this summer. And once again, tell me if I'm off, but I'm looking at the landscape. So Fox will be here. Let's talk about the guys who will be here under contract for like 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Fox will be here.
Mm-hmm.
Herder will be here.
Mm-hmm.
Keegan Murray will be here.
Mm-hmm.
You got Davion under club control.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got decisions that you've got to make that you probably want to bring these guys back with Malik Monk, with Domantas Sabonis.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw Trey Lyles in there as well. So when are you going to have the money and if you sign Harrison Barnes, let's just say you sign Harrison Barnes, when are you going to have the money and the opportunity to elevate your roster in the next 2 years if you don't do it now?
So something stood out there. First of all, let's check in with Harrison Barnes.
That's the gratitude I get from you pieces of crap.
2.
Once again, the media didn't listen to me. I said, if you believe you can do it with Harrison, then you re-sign Harrison. Bring him back.
HP, what do you think?
That's the gratitude I get from you pieces of crap.
Why did you throw Trey Lyles in there?
Because I'm just thinking we all want him back and we all sign him, like that's probably going to be like a 4-year deal. Like he'll be here. Okay. He's going to be part of what you do moving forward. So like
have we gone over the Kings' money?
A little bit. Well, that's the other thing with the money. Like I know the cap's going to go up, but this is going to be probably the time when you have the most money over the next 2 or 3 years. You'll have that slot of $20 million to pay somebody. I don't think you're going to have it after this year. And then if you have it, who are you getting? It's like we talked about the trade deadline. Who are you moving out? It's not Fox. Mm-hmm. It's not Keegan. If you sign Harrison or whoever at the 3 or the 4, it won't be that person the following year. It's not Sabonis. Maybe Herder, but you probably look at Herder as like a team-friendly deal. You probably won't want to really mess with that as long as he's somewhat productive.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got him on a good deal. So free agency comes around next year. What are we doing? We're trying to, when the free agents come around next year, you're trying to spend all your money to re-sign Sabonis and re-sign Monk. So you're not going to have a lot of money to spend that year. The following year, it's time for Keegan's, I think, extension.
It looks like they have about $27 million available
coming up this year.
The Kings have $107 million allocated to 9 players, and with the NBA salary cap projected at $134 for the 2023-2024 season, they have some cap space to work with if they wanted to bring in a free agent. So that's about $27 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume that doesn't, like, I assume that's not, there's no cap holds or anything like that. That's just what they have. Yeah, I mean, obviously, everyone's been thinking about Harrison a lot. And I think really what it boils down to, and while we're having fun with all the little sound bites, I don't think Harrison is plan A. That's
I agree.
my ultimate, I don't think they would mind having Harrison. I'd go a step further. I think they would love to have Harrison back. I think the idea of having Harrison back, though, in the Kings' mind, probably isn't the same as Harrison back in Harrison's mind or his agent's mind. But we've tried to speculate 1,000. Like, what does Harrison want here? Like, not here in Sacramento. Like, what does he want in this situation? Does he want the biggest contract he can get? Does he want to continue to build with this team? Does he want to, stay put here in Sacramento? Does he want to win a championship? Does he want to go to one of the many teams that we hear about every year, coveting Harrison Barnes? Does he finally want to play for the Boston Celtics, as every East Coast media member has speculated on for at least 4 years now? But I'm having in how aggressive Monty was last offseason or last trade deadline with Domantas Sabonis, and really how aggressive he was this past offseason with Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk. It's becoming more and more difficult for me to see a scenario where Harrison is back.
I kind of feel the same way. I remember when we were on Sports Sunday and it was like leave or stay. And I was like, I think Harrison's going to stay. And I think you said reluctantly, you're like, I think he's leaving. And as I thought about this exercise, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Unless you, once again, because the way I'm seeing this thing and everything played out, because the whole thing is you're about to start making commitments. You're committed to Huerter for like the next 3 years. You're committed to Fox. You're going to be committed to Sabonis. You're going to be committed to Keegan Murray. And now at this 3 or 4, whichever spot you want him at, you're about to make another commitment. Do you think they want to commit to Harrison Barnes if they're trying to make a championship?
I do not.
I don't think so either.
And one thing that's two things that are sticking in my head from Monty McNair's press conference after the season. One, maintain and improve. Be just as good as we were on the offensive end. Get better defensively. That's the context of what he was talking about. Be as good as we were offensively. Get better defensively. Two, if we really want to be content, like for what we did this year was great. Like that's this year, 48 wins. Like it's great. Got to the playoffs. Good. Tremendous. That's not like, are we staying there or are we getting better? And he brought up, 3 seeds are generally 50+ win teams. Yeah. We've got to figure out a way to be a 50+ win team. We've got to be back here next year. And the way Monty was talking, Monty wasn't talking about being back in the playoffs. Monty was talking about being back near the top of the Western Conference. And as valuable as I believe Harrison is, the way you laid it out there a moment ago, it's the only spot where you have the ability right now to get better. Now, the ability to do something doesn't mean you can do it. And that's the tightrope that you're walking here, because you want to be on great. You want everything to be rosy with Harrison Barnes because you might have to go to him. But I don't think that's the first thing you want to do.
I agree. I don't know. You guys let me know, man. Call in or get in the chat or whatever.
We could post a poll question.
But do you agree with my thinking where this is the one time, and I'm not trying to do like when they hit the 9th seed and be like, oh, we gotta save money for Marvin, and
that happened.
Not trying to do
I was
that
outside for that.
But like, is this the moment for like the next 2-3 years to add an impact player? Look, next year, you don't even have your draft pick next year. Like, so that's why I'm harping on the draft pick and this money situation, This seems like a huge opportunity, and maybe the opportunity for the next 2 seasons, maybe, to add a high-level talent.
All right, poll question is up over on youtube.com/ESPN1320. If you want to get in on the phone lines, you can. 916-909-1320. Stilo and KC. Brought to you by Sky River Casino with 17 different restaurants and bars to choose from. Sky River Casino has something for everyone, from casual quick bites in the market at Sky River to fine dining at SR Prime. We'll continue this conversation on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
I swear, the media.
You got a show?
No 13th round.
Oh, I'm going to grab some water.
But, I mean, you guys can ask me questions. It's just not a recorded episode of the 13th round. We can talk boxing.
See, Ryan Garcia fired his trainer.
Yeah.
And I guess he's trying to get back with Canelo's team.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's best for him. Ryan needs to get off of Golden Boy. That's first and foremost. But he fired his trainer, who he wasn't even listening to. He told him, stick and move, don't be too crazy.
He said, well, this is how I do it on TikTok.
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure that happens anytime soon. Drew Down, what's up, big dog? Ryan's a boxer. He's a boxer. He's a good boxer. He's got things he has to work on, but he's a good fighter.
You keep saying that word good. He's not a good boxer, man.
He's a good boxer. He's a good boxer.
He's got fast hands.
Yeah, he's got fast hands. And he's got power. There are boxers that have less that get hyped up more. Michigan, no, I have not seen that. Is that on ESPN Plus or something like that? I ain't seen it. I gotta check.
Draymond Green explains why the Dubs can still upset the Lakers. New episode of Draymond Green Show.
Back to the Draymond Green Show. We are live on AMP. For everyone that's not listening on AMP, we're recording this episode Tuesday morning. Tough loss last night.
Oh, you didn't want to record last night?
We're going to get into that, talk a little bit about the other series before we get out of here. But for starters, let's just get straight into the game. Lakers took the game 104-101.
Just think he giving a box score recap.
I've never listened to
Draymond,
him.
what you doing?
He sounds so sad.
Draymond.
Ended the game on
Oh, this actually is making me sad.
If he said they can come back in that tone, he knows they're done.
This is making me sad. Like, Trey, what you doing? He giving a box score recap.
Steph just told him he can't come back anymore.
Tell me what you were doing. Oh, don't do that. What were you doing on that play?
Break it down.
Oh, man. Stephen Brown says sad Draymond is a vibe. Like a box score. Man. I mean, I don't expect him. Draymond, we were listening to a clip of Draymond's pod. I don't expect him to be all like hype. Like this, their season, they're down 3-1. Right. But he just felt lost. And he was, the Lakers won 104-101. Like, Dre, like we know. What you doing?
I love the little memes or the tweets where they'll have the still shot of Draymond and they'll have the quote, like, this is what Draymond would say, like, I know we're struggling right now and Jordan Poole has to find a way to play better, but let's spend time to talk about the greatness that is LeBron James. This guy is greatness personified.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Draymond out here playing chess, trying to get to that lake show.
I still, after all this, if he could go 0 for 0 with 5 points, 4 assists, or no points, 4 rebounds and 5 assists in the next game, and they lose by 15. I still don't think he opts out and leave. I think they work together in whatever's next for him, assuming he's not back with them.
Yeah.
He very well may be back.
They want to trade Jordan Poole. Get rid of him instead.
Do you think so clearly the people who cover the team want that. The fans want that. Do you think the Golden State Warriors want that?
Well, what do you mean by the Golden State Warriors?
The organization?
Yeah, because the organization, I don't know. Organization is going to be in flux. So it might not matter what they want. And look, I won't speak cryptic. It may not matter what Bob Myers wants. Bob Myers may be out the door. And so when you talk about organization, what does Joe Lacob want?
That's it. Because we put a lot of this on Bob Myers. I don't think it's just on Bob Myers. I think a lot of it's on Joe Lacob.
Yeah. I think Joe Lacob will want Draymond instead of Jordan Poole if it came down to that. I'll answer that question that way.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably right.
That doesn't mean he doesn't want Jordan Poole, but if they say, hey, man, you got to break this up, I think he would look to move Jordan Poole before Draymond. Have you ever listened to that podcast with Draymond?
Mm-hmm.
I've never listened to it before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've listened to. I can't say I don't subscribe to it and listen to a whole episode, but I wanted to give it a shot. Yeah, absolutely.
I know it sounds a certain way. I just never really had any interest. I don't know.
I get it. I don't know. Maybe you'd like it more if you were a Warriors fan. I don't know.
Maybe
it's
so.
just it's
Maybe
not
so.
very.
If De'Aaron Fox had a podcast, maybe I'd listen to that one religiously, like Warrior fans.
If Malik had a podcast,
I'd
listen to that. No, I didn't. I just can't imagine De'Aaron hosting a podcast.
But
I can imagine Malik hosting a podcast.
I watched their
De'Aaron
show.
can come on Corners of the Culture if he wants to.
He can.
It'd be KC, D-Lo, the dope ones, and
good episode coming
De'Aaron.
out on Thursday.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
The poll has been posted for 7 minutes. Do you think Harrison Barnes will be back? Any guesses?
I think the majority of the people say no.
A large majority of the people say no. 78%.
And see, that's why I was careful bringing this up, because I want to be we have fun with it. I want to be perfectly clear. If Harrison comes back, I would love that, because I love Harrison Barnes, right? Then I'd say, all right, you guys believe that he can, help you get to a championship? Let's make it happen. Let's do it. So I'd understand and I'd be okay with it. But I also understand the argument of somebody in the front office or a fan saying, you have to get better. That's where you improve. I mean, there's people that we talked to throughout the series who are like, you got to improve there. That's where you improve.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. I don't know if now talk to me about, we'll talk a little bit more in depth with this, but about timeline. Is my timeline off as far as like when you'd be able to improve at any of those 5 spots?
No.
Feels like now is the time.
With one exception.
What's that?
Well, no one's going to like this. If you're willing to trade Keegan Murray.
Oh,
that's the only exception.
Yeah, there's that.
But every other, you're absolutely right.
It feels like this is the offseason
because Domas is going to get paid, and you hope it's by Sacramento. I don't. Our belief is De'Aaron's going to be here for a long time, so he'll have another deal in a handful of years.
The Herter spot, maybe somebody would argue the Herter spot. I think because of his contract and what he brings to the table, like if he plays like this for the duration of his contract, like that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong.
Don't let
that.
the playoffs fool you. Like
right.
Sometimes we remember sometimes we remember the last thing we saw too fondly, and sometimes remember it as way worse than it actually was. Kevin Huerter's series against the Warriors was bad, but that's not indicative of how he played this year.
Right.
You still want Kevin Huerter around for 82 games, and you want him to be better in the playoffs next year. I'm certain he will be. I'm certain all of these guys will be better in the playoffs.
A lot of people say
someone won't be. That's just how the playoffs work.
People say bring him off the bench. I thought he was fine as a starting 2 guard all year. Like there was
Huerter?
Yeah, that's what they're saying in the chat. Some people were saying in the chat. And I mean, he was fine. He was fine. He had ups and downs. He had cold streaks and hot streaks. But I think he's a fine starting 2 guard.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
And he's like, that would include like some type of trade, which you don't have a lot of assets. And that's why this free agency situation is probably your best way to improve over the next like 2 seasons.
So here's a question for you. I think this is a dime right here. What's more important? Upgrading Harrison Barnes or a Keegan Murray jump? Let me rephrase that. That was a dumb way of putting it. Sorry. Dump this. Not what's more important. What means more to the Kings' success? In upgrading the Harrison Barnes position or the Keegan Murray jump?
Let me see here.
Work it through.
So if you let's just, maybe I'm thinking too much into this, but if Keegan makes the jump, Harrison stays. Like, is that how you're thinking about it?
In the scenario? Yeah. So like, if I said your favorite's Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson signs here. Keegan's roughly the same. What's that mean for the Sacramento Kings? Or Harrison's still here, but Keegan had a year or two like De'Aaron did.
Yeah, it'd be Keegan taking the lead. That's more important. Like if you gave me the 2 scenarios, I'd bring Harrison back with a Keegan jump over Keegan staying the same and bringing.
Now, ideally, of course, you would like them both.
Now, if you can get Keegan taking a jump regardless of what happens, now you're cooking. But Keegan taking a jump, going from, I think it was 13 to 18. I think James was hoping for. Like, if Keegan got to 18 points a game, you can
maintain and improve, which means De'Aaron, even if we slotted De'Aaron potentially at 27, let's just say he's at 25. Domas 18, 19, 20.
Think about this. This is all like, I don't want to say pie in the sky, but this is everything working out perfectly. Think about if Harrison comes back. You have Harrison come back. Keegan makes a jump. You bring Sasha in, and your draft pick hits. That'd be a good look.
Yeah.
That'd be a real good look.
It wouldn't be a bad one.
And that's all realistic. Like I didn't say anything that's like Sasha, you're not going to be MVP of the EuroLeague, but or out here, but it'd be a good addition. Trey Lance coming back. Your draft pick is, I was going to say, because that would be like great if he was all NBA rookie second team. That'd be crazy.
That's very good.
But if he's like Shaedon Sharp, who just missed it.
There you go.
Like now,
there you go.
That's a real good look. You got all those things going on, and Harrison still providing. Like Harrison, I don't think is going to fall off a cliff. He still provides what he provides. That's how you improve him.
Harrison was the 4th leading scorer on the team.
What, about 15 points a game?
Exactly 15 points per game.
See,
Huerter was 15.2.
And that's good. That's what you want. Here's where you just talked about. If he becomes the 5th leading scorer on the team, or say he's still at 15, or maybe goes down to 14 to give Keegan room to get to 17 or 18.
And Keegan's behind Malik.
Dang.
Yeah.
Malik is 14 a game, huh?
Malik's 13.5. Keegan's 12.2.
Wow.
He's the 6th leading scorer on the team.
Wow.
That man just made threes all year.
Made 4 threes a game.
He just hit threes in spurts. Wow. Yeah. It feels like that Keegan jump is pretty significant.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure we're putting on.
It is. And that's where, we'll just throw out the name. That's where if you get a guy like Cam Johnson, you don't put the rush on Keegan to improve to like 17, 18 points a game. You're gonna expect that guy who comes in to pick up some of that slack.
Yeah.
And that gives Keegan, he can improve at a certain pace. That would be my thinking. So if you get PJ Washington in here or Naz Reid, like they're gonna average 15, 16 points a game, give you rebounding and all this other stuff. Whereas Keegan can instead of going from 12 to 18, he can go from 12 to 15. It'll be okay.
Special Ed, great screen name, says now do the playoffs. I got you. De'Aaron had 27, averaged 27 in the playoffs. Malik averaged 19. Domas 16.4. And then again, the 4th leading scorer was Harrison Barnes.
Well,
he averaged 10.7.
Oh, well, jeez.
Keegan averaged 9.7. But we talk about Harrison.
Yeah.
Kevin Huerter was the 3rd leading scorer during the regular season. In the playoffs, he was the 6th.
It fell off a cliff in the playoffs.
But Harrison took a lot of the heat.
Mm-hmm.
He was the Jordan Poole.
But he was Jordan Poole. But I'll say this about that. Harrison, if Huerter wasn't under contract, people would be ready to move on from him. In a sense, you're like, he's here. Like, we just got to hope he's got to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison, you can do something about. You can not sign him and bring somebody in better without trading or anything like that. Somebody you think is better.
Yeah.
So I think that's the if Kevin Huerter was playing on his final year, his contract, I bet there'd be just as many people saying, no, don't bring him back. Which I wouldn't agree with. I'm not sure I agree with it with Harrison either. Like, I like Harrison. I think he still has value, a real strong value to this team. So I'm not just get rid of him, but I do think you have to take a real hard look about if you can improve, now would be the time to do it.
In theory, I got you. It makes 100% sense. In practice, the question is, would that actually work? Can you improve? Can you get better? I think one good thing Kings fans can take into consideration here is I'm not saying that Sacramento is all of a sudden this massive free agent destination, but I think what this team is something. Like a ball player looking for a place to play ball.
Yeah.
Right. You could talk about markets and clubs and cities and you do all that all you want to. But if you're someone looking to play ball and you got not only a likely all NBA point guard, you have who averages like 6 assists a game. You have a center that averages 7 assists. You legit have like a pass first center. You have a team that moves the ball all over the place. This is an attractive place for, and you talk about players who might just want to get some numbers. You're going to get numbers here in Sacramento. That's the way the offense is going to work. Again, I'm not trying to overstate this and say now suddenly Sacramento is the sexy free agent destination. But from a basketball perspective, yeah, this city works. This team works. It's attractive.
100%. I almost look at it the same way that I look at offensive players in football wanting to go play for Kyle Shanahan. You don't get your numbers up. Running backs wanting to go play in the Shanahan system.
Yep.
You're gonna get your numbers, which is gonna get you paid.
You're going to get your numbers, it's going to get you paid, and you're not going to have to touch the ball 400 times.
Exactly.
You're going to share it with at least 4 or 5 other guys.
Right. Now, you may be out of here after 1 year.
Possibly. Yeah, that's possible.
So that's an issue if you're San Francisco or if you're playing for the Niners. But, yeah, like everything that you mentioned with Sacramento's attractive. I think the playoffs and seeing what was going on, there was a couple. I think it was Kyle Kuzma. So, I mean, that doesn't mean like he's coming here because I think he's staying in Washington. But there was a couple players who were like, yo, it's going crazy in Sacramento right now.
Yeah.
Like that was appealing. That was, at the very least, it's something that people took notice of the atmosphere of the crowd, how things are when they're good. They're like, man, it's crazy at Golden One right now. That helps. That helps. And
everyone thought the Golden One Center crowd was hot except for Nate Duncan.
What did Nate Duncan say again?
That man was literally there and said, oh, you know, like the sporadic chants, like they're okay. Like, I don't feel like this crowd is very lively. Little underwhelmed by this crowd. Literally and maybe he wasn't there for game 1, but he was there for game 2. So I assumed he was there for game 1.
Lit too.
I mean, he was the only individual, I think, in all of the NBA who didn't think that the Golden One Center was rocking.
Did I remember because we weren't at the same place when this happened, but in Game 7, when the arena was full and they kind of played up the Kings coming out of their locker room and everything, and then we finally, because I was down low, you had walked up before I did, and then we finally saw each other, and you were like, that was loud.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
See.
We were exiting the media area as they were coming out. And yeah, it was very loud.
Yeah.
Very, very loud. But yeah, I think it's an attractive place for free agents this summer. I don't think they're going to have an issue in dealing with agents who don't want clients here, as we've heard about in the past. I think the Sacramento Kings are likely in the best spot they've been in. Not likely. The Sacramento Kings are in the best spot in terms of free agency that they've been in. Perhaps, you know, it's certainly in close to 20 years.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Stalling for time.
You want to talk about 2 timelines?
Nope. We'll get to that. I wanted to get to the what's cracking with Dr. Lance injury report first, brought to you by
2 big games tonight.
Yeah, Dr. Lance and Keziah Chiropractic. AskDrLance.com is the website. Again, AskDrLance.com, or you can text them at 916-707-0456. Not news, but news. Chris Paul will not play in tonight's Game 5. Again, I think we all kind of knew that, but the playoff misfortune for Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns continue, though we saw the Phoenix Suns win the last 2 games. And, bruh, this might be Devin Booker's time. Now, we can talk about that, but that's our injury report. That's our What's Cracking with Dr. Lance injury report, brought to you by Dr. Lance and Keziah Chiropractic. Text him at 916-707-0456 or head over to AskDrLance.com. Tell them D'Lo and Casey sent you.
Yeah.
That's our guy, Dr. Lance.
Shout out, Dr.
Bro, this might be Devin Booker's time.
It might be.
This might be the, hey, man, it really sucks Chris Paul isn't here. But that's all right, because Devin Booker's here. I told you it was weird to ask the question the other night, but is Devin Booker emerging as the Phoenix Suns' best player? Again, Kevin Durant had the exact same point total he did. They both had 36. Kevin Durant shot 11 of 19. And I still ask that question about Devin Booker because he has been insane these last 2 games.
So, number one, you're 100% correct. Everything you're saying. Here's the thing. Do we believe? Not do we believe, because I mean he's capable of it, but like, guy hasn't missed for 2 games.
Yeah.
Like that's
almost literally.
Yeah, like is that gonna continue?
So obviously, no, as Kenny Caraway would tell you, that's why averages are averages. But taking away what was the number, like 76, the incredible shooting percentage, taking that out of the equation, what you look at is Devin Booker won those 2 games for Phoenix. And so if you ask the question, can Devin Booker win 2 more games for Phoenix? I think the answer is yes. Maybe it's not shooting at a 79% clip with an incredibly high volume of shots.
Yeah.
But can he do it? I think for the first time in his career, I'm of the belief that he can.
I think he can. I absolutely think he can. I think Devin Booker, that guy's, he's a problem. He is a problem out there. And he's had to grow on me a little bit. Like, I wasn't always a big Devin Booker guy. And once again, if they ever match up in the playoffs,
it's going to be the worst.
I'll be saying not nice things about Devin, not on the air. But
did you call Devin Booker out his name? Oh, you did. You called Devin Booker out his name.
I mean, it wasn't to him specifically. It was just.
I think you're lying.
It was just a figure of speech.
Okay, I think you're lying. To be clear,
who did I say that about the other day when we were watching the game?
Was it?
Was it Draymond?
Oh, probably. I don't.
So somebody quit crying.
Oh, that was definitely Draymond. Yeah, that was definitely Draymond.
On the low, Draymond cries all the time.
That's not on the low.
Well, I don't think it's
on the very high.
He don't get enough credit for being a crybaby that he is. He cries all the time.
He's as bad as Luka.
Yeah.
Luka, I think Draymond's more aggressive in his complaining. Luka's whiny. Like, Luka actually looks like he's whining. Draymond looks like he's just yelling. They look very different, but they both do it a lot.
Yeah.
Like a ton.
I was sitting there watching the game last night. Maybe it was on the low for me. I'm like, this guy complains after every call. Every single call. Steve, review it. No, fool, you fouled him. You fouled him.
It's so
you want me to review?
It's not only Draymond Green. It's so dumb when players do that. You put your coach in a terrible position in that sense.
9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Hey, no, review that. Review that. Do you guys not know the rules? Do you not know the rules?
That's the new wide receiver throwing the flag, just reaching into their imaginary belt and throwing an imaginary flag. That's the new twirling in the air is the new flag.
If I was a coach, if I was Steve Kerr, I'd have a rule. I'd be like, look, if any of you guys ask me to review something before the fourth quarter, I'm taking you out. I'm not reviewing it, and I'm taking you out. Don't look at me with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Hey, no. Hey, review that. Review that. No. Hey, Steve.
Whose voice is that?
NBA player. Hey, no, review that, bro. Review that.
If
what are we talking about?
I don't think the Warriors are. I'm not saying that the Warriors are losing tomorrow night.
I don't know if they're. No, I'm saying I don't know if they're losing. Period. I've seen this team. I've rooted against this Warriors team for years. I've seen the fan base and everybody squirm time and time again. They find a way out of it more times than not. So this series is far from over.
Lakers up big in the fourth. Draymond's getting tossed. Draymond's going to get himself thrown out of the game.
Drew down in the chat saying, we know KC picking LA tomorrow. I picked them every day. Okay, Lake Show.
Probably the most aggressive OK Lake Show at the very, very end of yesterday.
I thought the Warriors were going to win yesterday, though, especially when they got up like 13 in the third quarter. I was like, ooh, they got them.
That game was weird, man. That game was weird. You mentioned the 2 timelines. I do want to talk about that. We'll talk a lot about this series. Talk a lot about the NBA in general when Jason Jones joins us coming up in about 30 minutes. But I want to talk more about this two timelines thing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Thank you.
But just got the tweet. Tim Tszyu will defend his WBO interim super welterweight belt versus Carlos Ocampo on June 18th.
I'm super happy you stopped me from going to commercial break to mention that.
Got to get that in.
Gotta get the. Make sure we put it in the description of the show.
Do you know how many views we just got?
They love us. Tim Tszyu, Steelo and KC here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
Carlos Ocampo. I think that's the guy who faced Jamel Charlo.
I haven't seen a single episode of NXT on USA. And all these verified fan things that they do at Ticketmaster, I've never not been on the wait list. They sent me an email and said, "You're on the wait list for 50-cent tickets." Now, look, I love 50. But we really pretending like that dude's needs this level of security for ticket buying? Come on, man. I want to see 50 and is it Busta? Is 50 and Busta? Yeah, I thought Busta was with LL. Busta's not with LL. DJ, the Roots are with LL. That's right. The Roots are with LL, and so is DJ Jazzy Jeff. Of all those people at that show, I want to meet DJ Jazzy Jeff. Brock Roman. Oof. Yeah, that checks out. I didn't watch last night. Did anything happen last night? Oh.
He was out there beating the hell out of Cody, cutting promos and stuff.
Man, it's never good when Brock's cutting promos.
Yesterday was actually cool, I think.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. I'll watch it when I are there 2 games tonight? Oh, there are 2 games tonight. Well, it's gonna have to wait.
Yeah, I just caught it on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll catch up on the videos. That's what I'll do. I'll catch up on the shorts. Yeah, Backlash was good, Lazy. Dre should put on a clinic on how to yell at refs properly.
What do you think James Harden does today?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't think he goes for 40, but I don't think he goes for 10 either. He just might have a solid game, which I don't know if that's going to be enough.
That's what I was thinking today. I think him and Joel have to go for 30 plus again.
I completely agree with that. And I think he might just I just think he's going to have a nice solid game. And they're going to lose. And it's in Boston tonight, yeah? They just finished.
Yeah, it's in Boston.
Yeah. Okay. Jesse posts our videos early, so I'll be trying to get these artworks done.
Got to get him out the way so I can watch the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Dave, I think you'll have a big game today, Tatum. He'll be fine.
James Harden, 16.57 minimum. Yeah, I actually think he's going to do more than that. But you said minimum, so I got you. I think James Harden's going to play well. Sorry, Jesse, what?
I was going to say, if Harden doesn't go for 30 plus, then Maxey has to show something today.
Yeah, they have to get something from somewhere, and I don't know who it'll be. That's why I feel like it has to be Harden and Embiid. And I think you'll get it with Joe. Even if his damn leg fall off.
Joe Montana? Joe Montana?
Joel.
Oh, Joe. Complicated relationship with us and Joe.
Live on the Odyssey app.
Go ahead.
Live on twitch.tv/ESPN1320, youtube.com/ESPN1320, wherever you are. We appreciate you so much for being with us.
Did you see the video of Drake's son getting hyped because he got him LaMelos?
I didn't.
It's pretty adorable. It reminds you, like, because Reese, who's older than Drake's son, but he's the same way. Like, LaMelo's his dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you forget how big of a star LaMelo is to some of these kids. Like, LaMelo, that's his guy.
Yeah.
Then there's other kids that I coach, and they got the LaMelos. You go to these tournaments, they got the LaMelos. Like, he's a big star with these kids. He's a big star.
Why do you think that is? You think it's his play, his style?
A little bit of everything. He's been around for a while too.
That his exposure.
Yeah. But his style is a fun style to watch too. Like, he's, get well soon for next season, but he's delivered. Like, there's a lot of hype on him, and he's as advertised a lot of the time. So, some of these highlights.
They always said he was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like of those brothers, that he was the one. And I thought Lonzo was really good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, you're kind of doing a lot with this kid. I'm watching this kid pull up from half court. Like, this is ridiculous. He's bad.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bad dude. I almost want him to ask out of Charlotte. Like, Charlotte is such a mess. Like, it doesn't feel like they're taking any steps at all to getting better as an organization.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing in Charlotte. I mean, if they didn't have the Melo, maybe they do it anyway. I mean, their whole situation should be to just get this high pick and build around this guy that they get.
Without LaMelo?
No, I'm saying that, like, if they didn't have LaMelo, got you. Just wipe everything clean and build around this guy. It gets a little stickier because you have LaMelo, who's going into his third year, and you're going to ask him, hey, help us build till we get to maybe like your sixth year, and they'll be ready to do something.
Yeah, but that's the the structure of the NBA. It's financially advantageous for him to just say, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
kind of the way it
he's
is.
got the other contract he's going to sign.
Yeah.
You know who else finally took off in their sixth year?
De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, maybe that's the model for Alonzo. What a twist! What a twist in fate.
Building blocks.
LaMelo taking the De'Aaron Fox model. A Ball brother taking the De'Aaron Fox model.
There you have it. There you have it.
What if
Lonzo can come back too, by the way?
What if the Warriors ended up taking LaMelo?
Well, there we go. I mean,
did the Warriors have the number one pick that year, or was it Minnesota taking that man?
Minnesota had it, and the Warriors had number 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Warriors could have done it. It's a hell of a segue by our executive producer extraordinaire right there.
So.
That's well done. Because he asked the question, what if the Warriors had taken LaMelo? Well, right now, all appearances are they would have screwed it up. They would have had LaMelo sitting on the bench. Maybe he would have gotten punched by Draymond too. But here's something.
Definitely would have got punched by Draymond. LaMelo would have said something crazy to him.
He would have told him he sucked.
Absolutely.
So I know, like, we've been riding the Warriors all day, all month, last 2 months. But this is no shade at what they accomplished last year. This isn't like they won the NBA championship last year. They beat a team that, in my estimation, was so clearly better than them. But they did it. They won the championship.
Yeah.
Man, and I feel like that Larry O'Brien trophy masked a lot of their missteps. They had that 2 timelines phrase, right? Where Bob Myers would talk about winning a championship now and building for the future. And it feels like that whole thing has just been an absolute disaster. And I'm wondering, and I don't even know if I'm wondering, I feel like it's at the point, like, it can't be fixed. The 2 timelines thing is dead. Wiseman's gone. You traded James Wiseman. You get very little from Kuminga and Moody. You don't really even play them in this postseason. Right. You had Jordan Poole, who I think we all agree at this point, you've probably ruined. Now, if you're on the side of the Warriors and you say, well, you go on Vince McMahon on them, Jordan Poole ruined Jordan Poole rather than the Warriors ruined Jordan Poole. And that's fine. You could ride with that if you want to. The point is, you're probably at the point of no return with Jordan Poole. You were clearly at the point of no return with James Wiseman. And now you've got Kuminga and Moody here who just, sometimes you play them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you trust them, sometimes you don't. I think you've got this weird, whatever the hell is going on with Kevon Looney, where like he's playing really well. Then you say he's sick, so you put him on the bench to limit his minutes. All right, cool. Like I don't know. Is brother still sick? I thought that was a 1-game thing. This is like the 3rd game this has happened.
Right.
And you've got Steve Kerr tinkering with the lineups, trying to figure things out. This whole thing feels lost. Their 2 timeline thing is dead, which leads me to the belief that when Steph Curry is gone, this team is cooked. Yeah. I had thought even, and I think for Warriors fans, worst case scenario, this would be the worst case scenario. Draymond's gone, Clay is gone. Both of them, rather than just one of them. Both of them are gone.
This upcoming season.
Yeah. But you still got Steph. I was of the belief, like, this team's not going to be terrible. One, I don't think a team with Steph Curry on it and playing is going to be terrible. But I thought, this is a team that's still going to compete for the playoffs. They're going to be fine. Sometimes I watch them, man, and I'm like, maybe they're not. Like, maybe they're just not going to be very good moving forward.
It's funny.
I think the world of Kevon Looney, but like he has his limitations as well. Like, I don't know. I feel like I just kept harping on the title that they won last year and how I felt like that just covered up a lot of stink.
I agree. And they won it. I'm not going to dismiss it or whatever.
Absolutely.
I thought Phoenix was the best team. They didn't have to play Phoenix. I thought Boston was up. Jesse would probably know, but I think they were up 5 or something with 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter of game 4. And they let Steph go crazy. Like they were there. It's not like Boston got worked in game 4. They had the lead late in the 4th and they let them off the hook. And that's all that Warriors team needed and took advantage of it. But I said, I said this in the group chat too. I said, because one of the things was, hey, if they win that first round series, they might bring the band back together, and say, hey, it was just an off season. Let's bring them back together and let's try this again. Now, some of the things that was told to us. And I think it was watching game 1, and I was like, man, I hope they bring this team back together. As a Kings fan and worried about, like, other teams in the West and where, the Kings could fit in there and who they'd have to go up against. I was like, I hope they bring the Warriors back together. I hope they do. I don't mean that as no disrespect. Like you said, I don't think they'll fall off a cliff. I don't think they'll be like some Spurs type team down there. But this team isn't good enough. They got past the Kings by the skin of their teeth, and they got back. They get credit for that. I'm not taking it away. But this team ain't good enough. And if they feel like it was just an off season and they can bring it back together and hope everything will be all right, I hope so. I think it's done. The 2 timeline thing, like you said, it's failed miserably.
Yeah.
It's failed miserably. And to be honest with you, the guy is a Hall of Fame coach. But Steve Kerr bears some of the blame for this. He refused to play James Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, all throughout the year. Had Lamb and Ty Jerome getting those minutes. And then you wonder why, when you need them in the playoffs, they're not ready to play, or they don't understand. You haven't played them all year. Luckily, Moses Moody, who I have no idea why he never played him, luckily Moses was just ready to go.
Yeah.
And he was ready to play. But between how they've handled Jordan Poole in every way, not playing Kuminga or Moody throughout the year, getting them ready for these type of moments. And just, I have no idea what they did with James Wiseman and how that didn't work. I don't know how good James Wiseman is going to be. I know he looked well and he looked good in his time in Detroit to end the season. The talent was always there. The skill was always there. If you couldn't stay healthy, that's one thing. But you don't punt on the number 2 pick like that. With him wanting to be there, with him wanting to learn, never playing him like that. I don't know whose call it was, but we got to put it on Steve Kerr because he's the front man. Steve Kerr has done a terrible job with this two timelines thing.
Yeah. Well, I agree. In defense of Steve Kerr, that's probably not his concern. Bob Myers, sure. That's his 2 timelines. Well, maybe not so much now. But at the time, Bob Myers probably thinking, yeah, how can we maintain this? Whereas Steve Kerr is like, I got a group that could potentially win a title now.
But here's the thing. Here's where I'll push back on that. He was playing Ty Jerome and Lamb. They can't even play now.
Yeah.
So if you was trying to win then, you're trying to win now, they should be playing. They can't even play.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He does.
So I don't know what that was all about. Playing Lamb and Ty Jerome and even more minutes for defense, all that. Like, I don't know what that was all about at the expense of Kuminga, Moody, and Wiseman.
And how do you come back from that? Like, those guys have been in the, I mean, those guys are what, three years in?
This is their second year. Kuminga, Moody, second year. Wiseman.
So next year will be their third.
Yeah.
And so how do you approach that this offseason? Like, hey, okay, guys, this is the year. 3 years into this thing, I haven't got to do nothing.
No, and now they're looking crazy at the organization and see, like, Kuminga looks, every time I see a clip of him on it, he looks done. He looks completely out of it.
And that's the other thing. It not as extreme as what you were talking about with Jordan Poole earlier, but like, if you're those guys, how do you trust the organization moving forward? You because no one, and we all know, and especially here in Sacramento, an organization can bust a player. I think this happens a lot in the NFL. It's why I am holding back judgment a little bit on Sam Darnold. It's why I held on to hope for Josh Rosen. I believe more organizations can bust a player than a player entering the league as a complete bust, right? And for Golden State, these guys joined a championship team. Couldn't even get on the floor. That's going to be reflective of them.
Right.
Where in my, and I think our opinion, it should be reflective of the organization. The organization has dropped the ball with these guys. So they're, obviously rookie, we just laid out the complexities of contracts and in the way that the NBA works. If the Golden State Warriors decide, hey guys, we're going with you next year, it's in their best interest to go, okay, coach. Okay, general manager X, let's ride, because financially that's what works for them. Right. But it's got to be tough for them. And then you've got, I don't know. I wonder if Jordan Poole just takes all of the heat from a fan base that's frustrated with Kuminga and Moody too. That's frustrated that Wiseman didn't work out. That's frustrated this whole 2 timelines thing that they've been sold for 2 years has failed.
Do you think they should have sold high on like a package with Kuminga?
Absolutely.
2 of the 3 and gone and got a Bradley bill.
In hindsight, absolutely.
What'd you think about it at the time?
Well, no, at the time I understood it.
At the time, yeah.
At the time I understood it.
I wasn't touching any of those guys. As far as like if I'm the Warriors and trading them, I let them be here. Between Poole, you had Poole, Kuminga, Moody, and Wiseman. That was the second time. I was gonna see that one through.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna see that one through. So I don't have any problem with it. I just think they didn't handle that right at all. They botched it completely. And ironically, with all that, the best player, well, the best player even now is the guy who wasn't the lottery pick.
Yeah.
Poole.
Yep.
He was the best one of the bunch.
Yep.
And they messed him up. How do you think this plays out? You think Poole is moved?
I do. I think it's in Jordan Poole's best interest, and I think it's in the Golden State Warriors' best interest to try to move Jordan Poole. I don't think this situation, and it does not matter to me what you do with Draymond Green. If Draymond Green's not back next year, my answer is the same. I think you have to move Jordan Poole.
Let me. I'm just talking. I don't even know how this gets done. Would you take Jordan Poole on the Kings?
I thought about that earlier. Yes, I absolutely would.
I would too.
Like in theory, I absolutely would. How? I don't. That would have to be worked out. I don't. Like, he signed a big money contract. I think just this offseason.
Yeah, the extension starts next year.
Yeah, so that's
season. But
that's big money.
Big money is so he's looking at like 20-something million a year, I would think. Or maybe it's 30.
That you have to approach matching.
Yeah, maybe it's 30. There's a guy that makes $22 million on the bench right now. Well, has a total of 22.
Oh, there is? Well, yeah, but that's
a total of like 27. And then, yeah.
Who actually works in Golden State.
It works great. They need a guy. Like
27.4, 29.6, 31.1.
Escalates.
2026, 27. By the way, 2026, 27, the last year of his contract. He's 27 years old.
Man.
$34 million.
Man.
Unrestricted free agent in 2027.
That contract escalates, boy. Jeez.
Would you rather have Jordan than Kevin Huerter?
I thought that's one of the things I've thought about.
Because you ain't getting Malik. You can, there's no scenario
no.
where.
See, the thing with that, I like Kevin Huerter. He's a little bigger. I feel like he's a better team defender. I think Jordan Poole's a better offensive player, more skilled, has more in the bag. I don't know, man. That's tough. My first thought is Kevin Huerter fits with this group a little better because of his size.
So now that we've worked through this on the air, the Jordan Poole answer is no.
Yeah, in theory, I would.
In theory, it works.
In actuality, right? I don't see a way where it works for the Kings.
Jordan Poole can fit on virtually every team, though. Like obviously, clearly, we just worked out a scenario where maybe he's not the best fit in Sacramento, but he's going to work on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
And if they're looking to shed salary, again, not to bring it back to Sacramento, they'll probably take the Rashawn Holmes thing.
Yeah.
They'll take whatever they can to make that
probably
work.
Saving them money.
Mm-hmm. Save them a ton.
Yeah.
But your original question, I don't see him back at Golden State.
And I guess I think maybe we're in the same boat. We think higher of Jordan Poole than seems like a lot of people do right now. I think he's a very skilled player. I think he's a good ball player. I think he's in a rough situation. And I think that contributes a lot to his poor play right now.
What I'm willing to do, and I understand why Kings fans wouldn't want to do this, what I'm willing to do is give Jordan Poole the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to place the blame where I think it belongs rather than believing that a young man who played basketball at such a high level the year prior, forgot how.
Right.
Suddenly he can't score. Suddenly he can't shoot. Suddenly he can't do any of the things that earned him that contract that we just laid out right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to give him the benefit of that doubt. And I think a lot of other teams in the NBA will too. I think a lot of people in the NBA see this the way that we do.
Mm-hmm.
That this is far less the fault of Jordan Poole as it is the Golden State Warriors mismanagement of this whole. And the Warriors are a fantastic organization. They're the model of how within the workings of the NBA of how an organization should be run. You're never going to find anyone to talk badly about how that organization is run. However, you can see this situation here where the basketball side of it has gotten clunky, and they got greedy. They were able to tank with Steph's injury. They were able to sit Draymond. Clay was already out for like 2 years. You were able to land high picks, and it amounted to nothing.
Well,
at least it seems at this point it's amounted to nothing. Maybe that changes next year, but at this point it seems like it's amounted to nothing.
Here's the thing with Jordan Poole, and a buddy of mine, he tweeted it out yesterday, and I agree. And you could probably tell by some of the guys that I tend to like. He's talking about Lonnie Walker and what he did yesterday. He said Lonnie is a bucket. Game will forever be about a bucket. The dudes who can get their own bucket are super valuable in May and June. And that's what I feel about Jordan Poole. You can feel whatever you want about him. You can be unsure about him. But he is one of those guys that can get his own shot and make his own shot. He can go for 30 at any point in time. There's not a lot of guys you can say that about in the league. Jordan Poole can go for 30 at any time. And that is extremely valuable in May and June in these playoff games. That's why, to your point, I think somebody will do hula hoops to get Jordan Poole if he's available.
Yeah, Jordan's being used as a scapegoat, this whole thing. Like, the Warriors deserve criticism. And you go to The Athletic right now, and you'll just read a long list of articles about Jordan Poole shrinking in the moment.
That's crazy, man.
Tim Kawakami stopped short of just saying Jordan Poole sucks and he's ruining this team.
It's really crazy, man. How about the fact that, just like we've been talking about for a while, one of the reasons why I thought the Kings would win that series is the Warriors just aren't good enough this year. They're just not good enough. That's not a championship team. I guess that's just beyond thought.
No, it's not. It's not. But, and this is how the whole conversation started, I don't think they were a championship team last year headed into the playoffs. And they won the championship. That's why. Like, I think that's why people are like, oh, man, they're down 3-1. Oh, they can come back. Talk about full circle, returning the favor to a LeBron James team. Yeah, like, I think that's why people won't give up on that, is because they won you said Phoenix, I said Boston. So just between us, they were the third best team in the NBA last year. And we ain't even talked about Milwaukee yet.
Right.
I think that's why. I think that's why. Jason Jones is going to join us here in about 10 minutes or so. And shame on me, I've been meaning to mention this all day. But happy birthday to our brother Doug Christie.
Hey, air horns for
indeed,
DC.
Indeed. Doug Christie still contractually forbidden all of these years later to appear on the show with D'Lo and KC.
I wish DC liked a better football team, but I mean, it's the hometown, so it's all good.
Yeah, like
it's all
that.
good.
That doesn't count.
I mean, just wish he liked a better football team.
Well, he's from Seattle.
I
He's
know,
going to
it's
rep
the
his
hometown.
Seahawks.
That doesn't. I wish he liked a different football team.
Yeah, you ain't going to get that from him.
No.
It's
the hometown. It's the hometown.
He's going to rock with his Seahawks. Have you ever been to Pepperdine?
Not stepped foot on the campus. I think I've driven by that.
I don't know how you get anything done there. That's gorgeous.
It is beautiful. Pepperdine's a little, and the whole Malibu, it's a little far away from me. Like when I was living in LA.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little far.
Yeah.
I'd want to be a little closer.
My idea would be to live there and just never go anywhere. Just that would be my happy existence. Just live in Malibu and never leave.
It's beautiful though.
Oh, it's incredible. Beautiful. Absolutely incredible. We'll come back. As we mentioned, Jason Jones will join us. We'll talk a lot of NBA with the professor, and we'll do that next year on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. There you go, baby. Complex is going to set up some turntables behind you, man. You can teach yourself how to mix.
Yeah, man. DJ Jesse.
DJ JT. That was Ben. Who's healthier, you or DC? 100% Doug. Yeah, definitely Doug Christie. Doug Christie had his own bowl at Vitality World. Nobody ever given me my own bowl. Doug Christie would come in to do a show with tea and like a full, like fresh from the grocery store thing of berries. And that's what he would snack on the whole day, or the next 4 hours at least. It's like, I don't think so. Oh, man. I hope we get to tell y'all something soon. We just chomping at the bit for this. DJ Jesse Jeff. That's funny.
In the mix.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with it. New D-Lo fries over at Bennett's Kitchen.
Man. Should stop off and get some.
I need to get like a full, this is facts. He'll often come in with a bottle of apple cider vinegar. Just chug it. Well, that's always the case. Like, they just be throwing money at KC.
See, this is why you don't listen to the media, man. This is why.
I need to get a full-on meal from there, though, with the fries.
I don't think I've ever gotten a full-on meal.
I don't think I have either. I don't think we ate that first meeting we had there, did we?
Was that with Danny?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Just had a couple.
Basically,
drinks.
meeting with a bunch of strangers.
And at that time, remember, I don't know if you guys remember, the Kings were playing, and we had to ask them
That's
to put the
right.
Kings on.
Yeah. Boy, times have changed. Times have changed. Yeah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't shut the fuck up. Yeah, he just kept talking. Oh my God! All night.
That was the go-to.
I didn't have a conversation with that man that he didn't bring that up.
Never forget to when me and you had to go get Kenny for the meeting, we got yelled at.
Oh, be here on time. Like, God damn it. Meeting started at 9. Bro,
I was outside for 10 minutes.
Like, we were literally here. We just, hey, Kenny's here.
Yeah, we literally almost got fired, and Kenny got a standing O.
Kenny's here.
See?
All right. Y'all think that's a joke. That happened. That happened. Live on the Odyssey app, live on twitch.tv/ESPN1320, youtube.com/ESPN1320. You can watch the show. You can listen to the show. You can listen in your HD radio.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, crisp HD sound. Jason Jones set to join us here. Just a couple of minutes.
The professor.
Indeed. I'm sneaky excited for these two games tonight.
Oh, this is big time. This is what the playoffs are all about.
Yeah. Now
Two-
we're
2 game 5s. The series tied at 2. This is big time. I don't expect the road team to win either game.
okay.
Yeah, I think
So you
Denver
got
handles business.
you got Denver taking care of business tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Which is going to make the game 6s crazy.
I'm kind of feeling like Phoenix gets 3 in a row.
Nah, I don't see it.
Okay, Jokic staying over here.
Are we getting to game 7 out of any of these series? These two right here?
I think Denver, Phoenix goes to game 7. I'm with you, Jesse. I think Phoenix or Philly and Boston is over in 6. Philly got the 2 games I said they might get. I'm done with them now.
What series are we missing? Oh, are the Heat winning in the next game?
Nah, the Knicks are gonna figure it out, man. I think we're going to 7. I think we're going to
in
7.
the Heat Knicks.
Yeah, we're going to 7.
Okay.
Garden's gonna be a movie for game 7. Oh my gosh. When is that? Is that gonna be let me see.
I hope for all our sakes it ends tomorrow.
Garden's going to be showing a movie when they would have had game 7.
Is that gonna be? I think that might be on Mother's Day. Ooh.
Is Mother's Day Sunday?
Oh, no, it'll be on Friday night. No. It'll be Monday.
What happened on Mother's Day last year? Did they hire Mike Brown? Is that what happened?
I think, yeah, they did something.
Was it Mother's Day?
I think James was pissed off because
No.
they did it on Mother's Day or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Mike Brown. Yeah.
Boy, what a year it's been.
That's crazy. Mother's Day would have potentially 3 games: Phoenix, Denver, Philly, Boston, Lakers, Warriors on game 7.
What do you think happens in that series?
Lakers, Warriors?
Yeah.
I think the Lakers win in 6.
In 6.
Yeah. I think they win in 6.
And the next one's at the Chase Center. Okay.
Yeah. I'm super fascinated to see what the ratings are for this series.
I just saw it. You talking Warriors, Lakers. Yeah, NBA it was right there.
You follow NBA communication?
I do.
Twitter?
Yeah.
I just followed them. I think they might have. I don't know why. I was always following them. I don't know why I had to refollow them.
Well, they probably heard some of the things you said.
I got love for the NBA. The NBA is fantastic.
They probably thought you were in a different era. Warriors, Lakers. Warriors, Lakers, most watched conference semis game 4 on any network since 2012.
Game 4, I could believe that. I wondered what the game 3 was looking like, though.
I don't have that.
They must not have done that well.
Knicks, Heat, Warriors, Lakers, the top 3 programs across all television among adults under 50, delivering networks, most watched conference semis. So I got this and I started.
Game 3 clearly didn't break any records because they would have said that.
Well, I wanted to see how this compared to some of the Sacramento Warriors games.
Wasn't that like 11 for game 7 with the
So
Kings and the Warriors?
I didn't want to cheat because that is game 7, but it's also ABC versus cable. And the things that I saw right away were I saw all the ABC numbers rather than the TNT numbers. So I didn't want to cheat because that's not the same thing and that's not fair.
That's what I wanted to see Saturday for too. But what was game 1? You have it off the top of your head for the Kings and Warriors?
Was it
that
6?
was also ABC too.
Yeah, I think it was like 6 or 7 million. Between 6 and 7 million. We know one of the people watching the Warriors Lakers is the professor, our man, Jason Jones.
That reminds me, is your class going on again? You got the
No,
class?
I didn't teach this semester. Looking at maybe something next year, but yeah, I didn't teach this semester.
Okay.
Are you happy? That was a discussion earlier on the show. Like the Lakers are up 3-1. They look really good. Like I think they've got a legit shot at a title. But we speculate, I bet Jason Jones is happy. Like, nah, Jason's probably just Jason.
Oh, I mean, I'm enjoying this. I mean, everyone laughed at me in February when I said the moves they made could make them legit. Everyone laughed at me when I said they could win this.
Who's this everyone that you?
I'm just trying to be like y'all, where I start making up people who said over here that this and this, and You know, I'm just gonna sit here and watch and see what happens in Game 5. You know, hey, you know this little underdog team in LA. You know, the play-in team.
Underdog team in LA.
They were 13th in the West, and everyone laughed at them. You know, I mean, Damian tweeting about how the Laker fans must be so upset that the Kings weren't going to help them. I mean,
Wait, I tweeted that.
Yeah. Remember when the Kings were resting all their guys against the Warriors, and you're like, yeah, I bet you Laker fans don't like this, and I'm like, we're not bothered. And then the Kings fans jumped me and told me how miserable my life was. Like, this season must be eating you alive. Like, it must kill you that the Kings are better than the Lakers. I'm like,
to be fair,
but
I don't
okay.
think any of this happened.
To be fair, there were a lot of Laker fans out there saying Mike Brown was running from the Lakers because he benched his guys against the Warriors. They were upset.
And know what I said to all that? Mike Brown was smart to do that. You try to get the better matchup, and the Warriors were a better matchup. I held nothing against them for that. Why would they try to help the Lakers?
Well,
I mean, I don't see why anyone would be shocked that a team would try to be at, and they had nothing to play for. I mean, if they had to say, beaten, with the Spurs at home a week earlier, and they could still get number 2, but they lost to the Spurs and the Mavs, which pretty much ended them getting 2. They had nothing to play for. So I didn't bother me one bit. I'm like, if you don't want to be in that position, don't start the year off 2-10.
The other aspect of that is Mike Brown just wanted to rest his guys. Both Warriors fans and Lakers fans thought it was a sign of something. Well, no, it's a sign that he's trying to rest his guys.
They had there was nothing to be gained by playing De'Aaron Fox 40 minutes in that game. I just couldn't. I couldn't be mad at that, but I think I was actually surprised going into the series how many people thought the Lakers, the predicting people, I only saw 1 or 2 even give the Lakers a chance. So they're like, oh, these are the champs. I'm like, no, like I said, that's the reason why I don't watch a lot of talk show stuff, just because the stuff can get so weird. What was the one clip today? Should the Lakers rest their starters?
Oh, man.
And go to Game 6? Is the weather affecting the New York Knicks? I mean, I just get up and turn on Hulu and watch the Tupac doc. I can't. It's ridiculous. And now, what's the story now? Now Steph has no help. Now, he's got 3 former All-Stars in the starting lineup with him, but now he has no help. All these random. First, remember, was it 2 weeks ago? The NBA was conspiring against the Warriors to help the Kings. Now the NBA is conspiring against the Warriors to help the Lakers. Yeah. Since when did everyone hate Steph Curry? Like, since when did this all start? Like, all I heard before the game was, oh, Scott Foster's officiating? Oh, it's going to be 2-2. This stuff has just gotten so wildly hilarious to me. Like, whatever team is losing is the victim of a conspiracy. Like, a team just can't lose anymore. It's got to be there was some grand scheme, like I said, you got the weather Knicks conspiracy. Like, what's the conspiracy in the Suns Denver series? Like, what? Did Denver throw games so that they could give Chris Paul time to heal? Like, what's next? This is just comedy to me at this point. I can't even get that.
Stuff comes from Warriors fans.
All of it.
Me living in the Bay Area, I have told people for years, all this, they're the best fans in the world. I live out here. No. A lot of these people who were Warrior fans had Kobe jerseys on before 2015. It's just a fact. A lot of people who were Warrior fans now had Chris Webber jerseys in 2002. It's just a fact, but hey, what do I know? I'm just, little, what do I know? I could go on some rants about my philosophy on Bay Area sports fans and why Warrior fan is completely cool. It's like you took Niner fan and Giant fan and threw them in a pot. And now you've got every conspiracy and woe was me story in one fan base. It's comedy.
This is the greatest Jason Jones appearance in history, and we're just getting started. I also
just think about it. You've got bad Niner fan who thinks it's still 1994 or 88. You've got bad Giant fan who thinks they're the A's and they're broke.
Once again, calm down.
You put them. I said bad fan. I didn't say. I said bad fan. You put them in a pot. They go to Chase Center, and now the entire NBA hates Steph Curry.
This is true. Steph, everybody hates on Steph Curry. He never gets foul calls. He's fouled 4 times on every play.
Yeah,
and
he took the exact same terrible shot that Jordan Poole took.
Exactly. Did you guys see Steve Kerr was not trying to blame the officials, but he blamed the moving screens?
I did.
He was setting moving screens for damn near a decade.
That's all.
I'll never forget this one clip. I swore Draymond was playing right guard on a screen one time. I'm like, what is he doing?
The Marcus Smart joint against Boston?
I forgot. There's been so many to pick from. I was just like, oh, come on. Oh, now the referees are out to get you guys? Like, they're like, oh, that wasn't much contact. I'm like I said, I like Draymond, but you can't see Lonnie Walker running and go, you know what? Let me just stick my hip out a little bit. You can't set a screen by grabbing a guy and holding him by the arm.
That's in fact illegal.
And they're like, oh, they're embellishing. And I'm like Steph got away with a horrible flop on Rui Hachimura. You would have thought Rui punched him in the face the way he fell. But I'm like, yeah, let's just go ahead and sell this. The NBA is against like arguably the most popular team they've had in the last 10, 15. The NBA is like, you know what? We don't want Steph to advance. Let's go ahead and put the fix in now on them.
Well, my favorite was, we don't want Steph to advance. We want Sacramento to advance.
The NBA was out to get Steph because they really needed to get Kevin Huerter to the second round. I was like, and some of you people, you guys go on the air and say these things like, and it's not just fans, it's like actual members of the media who go on air and say things like, it's just not fair. JJ Redick did it. The way they're letting the Kings just grab Steph and hold him. I was like, okay. Yeah, the NBA has decided that, and then the Kings still didn't win the series. So clearly the NBA is doing a terrible job of holding the Warriors back.
NBA messed up. So for the record, I found the tweet that Jason is referring to.
I remember it actually.
James, well, okay. Well, I wish you'd tell the whole story then.
Tell the story.
James tweeted the injury report the night before the Warriors game, and it was lengthy. Laker fans got in James' replies,
remember that.
Just angry and upset and frustrated. And I quote tweeted saying Laker fans deep in their feelings over this tweet. That's all.
Then I said not really, and I became an emotional person. See, I don't know those people on Twitter. Those aren't my people. I don't know what they do. I try to be rational.
See, I'm just now seeing this. Jason responded, not really, but go on. Well, I didn't mean you.
Well, there's a way he said it, though. There's a way he tweeted it. There's a tone to his tweet.
Apostrophe in it.
Yeah.
Comma in it.
Just so condescending. Like, look at us with our 3.
And here are the replies. Dude, you're so bitter. LOL.
Oh man, Twitter been a crazy place.
Someone hit with a Michael Scott meme that says, my little heart can barely take it anymore. I forgot you a bozo Laker fan.
Look at them bozos in the second round up 3-1. Look at them bozos. I think that might be the thread where someone basically said it's like eating me alive that the Kings are good. And I'm like,
this man called you the Spencer Haas of reporting.
Man, leave my homie Spencer out of what? I don't even know what that means.
I don't either. But I'm just now seeing this, and it's
I'm the Spencer Hall. I don't even know what I shoot a lot of threes. I don't know what that means.
That's a wild insult.
That is.
I'm not even sure if it's an insult. I don't even know what that even means.
I don't know how I'd feel if someone said we were the Spencer Haas of radio.
I would take offense.
That wasn't even like a Republican conservative take. I don't understand.
I would take offense to that. I don't know why I would take offense, but I'd take offense to that.
Anything.
I know coming from a Kings fan, it was not a compliment. I know it wasn't a nice thing to say to me, but I couldn't really be angry because I don't even know what that means. I'm like, okay, I guess. I'm like, man, step your insult game up, man. I can't even, okay, whatever. Like I said, hey, the Lakers are just a scrappy bunch of underdogs. Had to win a play-in game.
The We Believe Lakers again. Get this.
I'm just stating facts. Are they not the 7th seed? Did they not have to win a play-in game that they were losing to get in? And they've played the number 2 seed Memphis Grizzlies, which have the great Ja Morant, the defensive player of the year, a second team all defensive player in Dylan Brooks. I mean, then they're facing the defending NBA champions, who even the NBA couldn't stop from beating the Kings. For them to, if they manage to win this series against Adam Silver, who clearly, come on.
Now LeBron James will have won the 3 hardest NBA championships in history.
This has just been hilarious for me. I'm just cracking up at this stuff.
So let me ask you, Jay, and we don't have no control over this. There ain't no jinx, nothing like that. You think it's over? You think the Lakers got them?
I think they do. I look at you had 2 blowouts. The Lakers have won both close games, and I think we need to give Darvin Ham a little credit here.
Yeah.
People are acting like no one's coaching this team, but he's made some really good decisions. The Warriors go extra small. He doesn't panic and say, you know what we got to do? We got to get AD in like 4. He doesn't panic. Yeah, they were getting killed, but and then he says you got to make an adjustment. You know what, AD? Thanks for keeping us in the game in the first half. I need you to focus on this. We're going to run stuff that. Like they kept somehow letting Steph get switched on to LeBron. It was just like, I just think that, and it's like the Warriors right now are the team that keeps trying to find something different.
Yep.
And I think you got to give, and then like Darvin saying, you know what? I'm going to go to a guy I haven't played in a while. And, these last couple of games, Lonnie Walker, has helped them. I just think he's he's not afraid that, hey, D-Lo, you ain't playing well. Get in there, Dennis. I think he deserves probably more credit than he's getting. But I can't see the Lakers dropping 3 straight, especially when they're going to get if they don't win tomorrow, you get game 6 at home. I can't see how this thing goes 7. I don't think the Warriors have enough to what are they going to do? Kevon Looney was Moses Malone. Now he, it's like.
Well, the crazy thing, he was Moses Malone against the Lakers too, and then you just sat him.
No, he's sick. He's sick.
Still?
I don't know. I'm just going off of what I read. I don't know.
And the Green brothers are just running around getting technicals, looking like the Harlem Heat on the bench.
Somebody said my man Draymond just can't bear to like eliminate LeBron, so he just made sure he threw that pass. The slander is just wild now. And then
frankly, he's the greatest. What do you want me to do?
And like I said, I can't. And I'm gonna say this, and I know it's not popular to say. We all know about Game 6 Clay. But how come no one talks about Game 3 Clay, Game 4 Clay, how every year in the playoffs, Warrior fans are complaining about where's Clay? And then he have a Game 6 and we just forget.
They don't even really have a game
Can I?
six.
Yeah. Can we didn't say it before Game 6 versus Sacramento because we didn't, want to be those guys.
I just think for all the
Not real.
For all the hate that Jordan Poole is getting right now, which I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve some criticism. It ain't just him.
Mm-mm.
I mean, every time it's like I don't have the numbers, but I'm pretty sure Clay's numbers drop considerably when he has to dribble to shoot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and the Lakers have done a good job outside of game 2 of making him have to dribble, and it changes. I mean, I thought the Lakers up front would just have too much length, and then that would be a problem. And so far it's happening. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure my mentions will be full of angry Warrior fans telling me to get out the Bay and go back to LA.
That's all right. It's worth it.
Hey, you mentioned Jordan Poole a little bit. We've talked about the whole dynamic of his series, what has gone on with him this year. How much of a role do you think the punch with Draymond Green has played in his entire season? Like, it's been up and down, it's been rocky. I feel like there's a lot of distrust with Jordan Poole, with the organization, with the coaching staff. I just think it's played a major role in his season. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I don't know Jordan well enough to know about that part. What I do know is that we've seen, even going the last year, Jordan Poole off the bench is not the same as Jordan Poole the starter. But you're not going to not play Steph to get Jordan Poole some run. So it just looks like he's struggling in that kind of find his way, and it's happened all year. When Steph was hurt, Jordan Poole's a different person, a different player. But it just looks like at times like he doesn't know what to do, and then you get that one-on-one. I'm gonna try to dribble and beat guys, off the dribble, and as long as he wants. And the thing about the Warriors, you even watched last night, there were moments where if it wasn't Jordan Poole, it'd be Wiggins going to one-on-one. That's a win for the defense. Steph's not gonna give it to Steph, and Steph has got a triple-double. But you want to do all that? Go for it. So I just think that I think in a lot of ways last year there was a rush to anoint him as a star. I still always go back and forth with our boy Bonte about that. I'm like, stop calling him a superstar. He's a young player who's had a good season, not a star. And I just think that now you look at the contract he got, just not what is expected. I just think he struggles with that. Whether he's, I think if he were starting, it'd be different. And even like, yesterday, we're going to start another guard. We're going to start Gary Payton. We're not going to start you. So, I mean, I can't imagine he's in the best mood. And then you have that whole thing they're talking about the post game where how it all got quiet. And we're reading, it all got quiet in the locker room when Jordan was talking. And then once he left, the music starts playing again. I was like, man. And like I told someone, it reminds me of what happened with Harrison that last year there, where he's not your best player, and it's not only on him, but he becomes a convenient target. And I'm not saying Jordan Poole's played well; he clearly hasn't. But I mean, when I'm watching Clay struggle, when I'm watching these other guys have issues, when I'm watching these lineups change, where JaMychal Green goes from not playing at all to he's starting, then he's not. There's a lot of other things going on besides just Jordan Poole with that team. But if you know, Kenny, if you watch the entire league all year, these are who the Warriors have been all year. They've been very inconsistent.
Yeah,
up and down. This is not, they've been up and down all year. I mean, there was a point of the season where if they were down by 15, I would just say they must be on the road. I mean, this has been a very they're doing what teams that are about 500 do. And I think that's the trade deadline. The Lakers are like, 25-10? So I think at this point, maybe the Lakers are just better than them.
And to your point as well, the Warriors doing what they do all year. They've blown road leads all year.
Yeah.
Like what happened last night was something they've done a number of different times throughout the season.
Yeah, they were up 7 to start the fourth. Jordan Poole was not on the floor. Within 90 seconds, that game is tied. That wasn't Jordan Poole's fault. Man took like 4 shots last night. I mean, they were some bad.
Don't tell them that. They need someone to shoot their arrows at, man. And Jordan,
they don't want to
all of them.
They're going to ignore the fact that Clay took a jumper that was just like, I don't know what he was doing.
Well, they're not going to ignore that. They're going to point that out. They're going to ignore the fact Steph did it.
He took the Jordan Poole shot. And then Steph was on the floor.
He did.
And everyone's like, well, you got to let Steph do that. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, but hey, Jordan did the same thing, and y'all wanted to cut him. And then
Jordan was even more wide open.
I was going to say, Jordan wasn't covered by Anthony Davis when he took that shot.
And Steph is on his back with a timeout and threw the ball out of bounds.
That was a travel, too, by the way.
And
did he just think someone was there?
I have no idea. But everyone
glossed trying to avoid the travel because that was a travel.
And they glossed over all that to go blame Jordan Poole, who was not on the court. Draymond threw the ball to Anthony Davis.
The hell of a pass to Anthony Davis, though.
Hey, man.
It's a hell of a pass.
Exactly.
And that was my point with Harrison.
Play went exactly as he planned.
That was my point with Harrison back in the day. In that game 7, I was there. Steph throwing the ball behind his back out of bounds, all type of shenanigans. Who we going to blame for the entire thing? Harrison Barnes cost us the entire series. No.
Oh, don't forget about Draymond Green's suspension.
Where he played another 2 games.
Yeah.
Game of his career in game 7, but that's okay.
Harrison Barnes. It's like Harrison Barnes and Jordan are going to be that Spider-Man meme, except Jordan already got paid by them. So
What do you think happens with Harrison here?
That's a tough one. I mean, I think fit-wise, there's and a lot of reasons to want to keep Harrison around, but they got to get another front court player up there, who can help with the rebounding and what maybe works against Harrison, so to speak. I would expect him to be back. I don't think there's going to be some kind of crazy offer out there, but you draft Keegan at 4, and even going into the draft, a lot of folks, the scouts I talked to, told me that's baby Harrison Barnes, basically. Like, he's Harrison. Like, so you draft him, he has a good season. Do you want to expand Keegan's role and maybe change some things? I mean, I think it's I wouldn't be mad if they brought Harrison back. I think it wouldn't be on the right deal, because even if you say hypothetically gave him a 2-year deal, as long as Harrison's healthy, you're gonna if you want to trade Harrison a year later, there's going to be value for him. Harrison's not old; it feels like he is because we've been hearing about Harrison since he was a high school kid in Iowa. Right. It feels like he's a lot older than he actually is. So I would expect him to be back, but you never know. A lot of times you expect things, and guys will say things like there's mutual interest. Mm-hmm. Every time I hear that, almost things like half the time the guy goes to another team. Remember a year ago there was the whole story with Malik Monk. I'll take less money to stay with the Lakers. I'm like, Malik's gone. I'm like, he's gone. Every time a guy says that, he's gone, and you can't blame anybody for that. You do what's best for you. So I think I could, I think I could really see Harrison staying around, especially now that the team is a playoff team. He played a role in that, but it all depends on how they want to go about, addressing some of the issues they had in the postseason.
One of the things that I talked about today is when you look at the Kings' situation over the next couple of years, it feels like this decision with Harrison, whether to bring him back or possibly get somebody that you think fits a little better and could be an upgrade, it seems to be like the one move you could make for the next couple of seasons. And you look at Fox is going to be here, Herter's under contract. You're going to re-sign Sabonis. Keegan is under contract. All like for your starters, there's only one move, it feels like, for the next 2 years that you could make. And I think it's right now. And part of me feels like that's why you might want to take a swing for the fences if you feel like you can upgrade that position over Harrison Barnes.
I think, you definitely got to look at it. Yeah, you definitely, ways you could do it. And I don't have their cap stuff in front of me off the top of my head, but is there I don't know if Harrison would want to be a reserve, but is there a way you get someone in to plug in as a starter and you keep Harrison around as a 6? There's different ways to do things.
Yeah.
And I think that Harrison and the Kings has been a good fit, overall, and I think that there's probably a reasons why you would want to keep him around, but you gotta explore ways to make the team better, and maybe making the team better means keeping Harrison and that and someone, So I just think that, like you said, you got a window now where you got a chance to go out there and get some, it's almost like talking about quarterbacks and their contract. Where you got a guy like a young starter on a rookie deal before you got to pay Keegan, before you have to extend Sabonis.
Right.
Go, see what you can do to bolster this thing up now. So that's going to be a tricky one for him too, because you look around the league too. I mean, I look at some of the teams that are even still playing. I can see a guy like Harrison fitting in on a Miami. I could see a team. Depending on what the contract. I'm not trying to. I'm going to put a disclaimer. I'm not saying that's going to happen or that anyone's told me. I'm just saying. Harrison has a lot of value, I think, around the league and places where he could go. It was just weird this year that no one was talking about trading for him because the Kings were winning games. It used to be the annual what good team could Harrison Barnes help?
Yeah.
So yes, I think there's I would say I would be shocked if Harrison is not back, but I can see going either way and it making sense. Given the Kings have a plan to replace him. And so far, I think one thing Monty has shown us is that there tends to be if he's letting the guy walk, there's a reason why.
We appreciate you, Jay, man. Great stuff as always. We'll be tuned in your little underdog Lakers. See if they can do the unthinkable.
Playing team trying to make the conference finals. Who would ever? This is a Hollywood story, baby. Just who would ever thought? Who would ever thought? Just a bunch of scrappy players trying to make the most of it.
We appreciate you, Jay. Thanks as always, man.
All right, y'all. Take it easy.
That's our brother Jason Jones right there. Well, if there's a such thing as a happy Jason Jones, that was it.
He's feeling good.
That man was cooking.
He's feeling good.
That's hella funny, man. He was comedy. He went for like 6.5 minutes straight. He's just cutting up on the entire league. By the way, poll question closed at.
Oof,
do you think Harrison Barnes will be back? It wasn't. It changed. After a little less than 2 hours of posting. Now, it's still overwhelming, but not what it was. The last we updated, it was 78 to 22%. It closed. Will Harrison Barnes be back? 67% say no. 33% say yes. That's probably a question that's going to be posted. What is it? May 9th, at least 2 more times before the start of free agency.
Yeah. That's a big one here with the Kings, man. That's going to be big to see what they end up doing with.
It's big because the value is probably confusing. Like his value to Sacramento, his value to Miami, his value to either of the LA teams. What? I'll keep the bit going. His value to Boston, they're different, and the dollar figures would be different with each of those teams. So I don't know. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
The lottery's on Tuesday. Imagine
those poor little poverty franchises.
Poor little
part of the lottery.
What's that meme? Watch out, y'all. There's poor people around. Told y'all, don't let this team be good.
I was thinking about that over the weekend. Oh, it's going to be even worse next year. There's going to be a smugness to me if the Kings are get good again, like top 4 in the West. Don't talk to me till you get home court advantage. Peasant.
Oh, you're going to Luka everybody. That's all right.
What would Luka say?
Don't touch me, you peasant. Unhand me, for I am Luka. Again, Luka Doncic sounds nothing like this.
Damian's Luka is underrated, bro. It's a forgotten
because it's not even Luka. It's just some like weird
it's
sound.
Hilarious, man.
I've heard Luka talk. That man does not. He talks about beer like he does not talk about that or talk like that. I'm excited for this offseason. I'm excited for the postseason for sure.
Yeah.
But this offseason's kind of low key exciting.
I think Monty's gonna go for the gusto. I think he's gonna go for the gusto. He's gonna try to make them deals. He's gonna try and work that free agency. I think he's going for the gusto. I don't think.
But what is that?
The gusto is if you got it.
No,
$22 million on Cam Johnson. He's gonna offer that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If you can't do that, he's gonna try and make a big trade that'll land them a swing or a power forward.
So it's like
get Sasha. They're gonna close the deal with Sasha.
It's similar to that conversation we had about best fit and best available, where if hypothetically, if Cam is their ranked number 1, who's ranked number 2, and how close are they?
Mm-hmm.
Because if number 1 you have scored at a 9 out of 10, and number 2 you have scored at a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
But the difference is $11 million a year. How do you approach that? I feel like a 9 to a 6, you probably approach it with you pay.
Yes. If it's a 9 to an 8.
That's different.
Yeah.
And now that's different.
Yeah.
Dramatic pause for effect. Just let everybody
Can't wait
think.
to see it.
This is that dramatic pause was for everyone to think about the last 4 hours. That's what that was.
Giannis has tweeted
the disrespect tweet.
Yeah, I'm tired of the disrespect.
I didn't even realize, as I read that he wasn't on the all defensive player.
That is a little disrespectful.
Hey, man's got goals. I'm with it. Looking for motivation. I'm with it.
Yeah. They need to stop disrespecting you, Giannis.
Well, okay, calm down. I'm guessing his name's going to get called tomorrow. But we will, by the time we hit the air tomorrow, we'll have the all-pro, all-NBA team. So we'll find out if both De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis are listed as 2 of the top 15 players in the National Basketball Association. We'll be excited to talk to that. About that, we'll be excited to talk about the games with you tomorrow as well. What do we got? We're going to NBA? Run it back? Cool. Run it back. You're listening on the Odyssey app. You're listening on ESPN 1320. You want more NBA talk? Don't go anywhere. We'll run it back next year on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
Go, anybody. It's tired of the disrespect.
Nobody's disrespecting you, bro. You lost in the first round.
He's tired of the disrespect. Oh, man. Lazy, I got some stuff for the cameras on the way. They'll be here tomorrow.
Cheryl in Baltimore. Much love to you. Always.
All right, man. I think we're going to get out of here. His game start at 4? Is it 4:30?
4:30.
All right. All right, man. We're out of here. Appreciate you guys as always. We will see you tomorrow. Hit the thumbs up before you go, and maybe the subscribe button if you haven't.
I don't know why I did the Jeff Hardy, but okay.
That's all right. Jeff Hardy.